Pies, Dane Swan, he'll go into the goal square. He'll get picked up by Bryce Gibbs. That'll be a wonderful matchup for both supporters to watch.
Umpires this afternoon, Stevick, Finlay and McInerney, and we're underway. Sunday football at the MCG. The opening bounce. Cruiser goes up and taps it down. Scotland ran into a dead end. Carazzo missed the target. Didak down towards half forward. Peeling off, doing well. Jamison to Betts. Getting back deep in defence. Murphy an early touch. Thinks about the hand pass, lost the football. Regains it with dash. Probing kick inside the forward 50. Offhand, Shaw arrives quickly. Crumming the Carlton Crummers right there. Maxwell goes wide towards the opposite pocket. Reid worked off it. Satanta still going. Plenty of Collingwood players around the footy. Stealing it away. Thomas drives it towards the wing. Bauer reaches over the top and gets it out of bounds.
Just Henderson in the hands of the trainers very early on in that first contest that he went for. Dane Swan sporting a new haircut.
Boundary throw in. The raw means the Judster. Down towards half forward. Off hands. Cruiser did brilliantly, came again, but numbers tell the story. Didak, Thomas. Well done, Simpson. Not so well done. Ball just pops it over the top. Russell wanted a mark. Play on was the call. Cruiser finds Gibbs on the overlap. Finds a way through. Kicks it down towards the pocket, but guess who?
I was going to say that Nick Maxwell with the Carlton forward line is probably going to have to play on a shorter type play, which might make him more accountable, but obviously he's started with the trend of dropping back and taking an uncontested mark.
Henderson having to come off after that injury.
I think Nick thought you were going to say he was a great player and responded accordingly. He kicked it out of bounds on the bounce. Jolly and Cruiser. This will be interesting. Jolly, clean possession, needs to be careful in that situation. Yaron, McLean bumped off at Didak. Thomas. Now Johnson through midfield. Reading it beautifully. Arriving as the ball did was Gibbs. Didn't take it though. Beams goes to ground. Is that holding it? Beams comes out backwards like a boundary umpire. Yaron, Murphy gets away in midfield. Judd sweeps it out wide. Scotland so good last week. Now Judd in space. Sets it up high. Down towards the forward pocket. Edged under the football was Jacobs. Well done by Brown.
Good strength, wasn't it? Outsized, but was able to hold his ground.
Wellingham onto the chest of Swan. Wellingham, Perth boy, grew up barracking for the Eagles. His idol, Chris Judd, down towards half forward. Fraser to his own advantage. Simpson with dash comes away for Carlton. Now they've got the numbers on the outer side. Carazzo, Judd is running. He wants the footy. Carazzo looks back. Hand passes back to McLean. To Carazzo. The moment is lost for Judd. And the kick loses possession for Carlton.
Good, Rob. Just good pressure here by Collingwood, and we'll see Leon Davis here. He sometimes gets attacked for not being aggressive enough or going hard enough for the footy, but on that occasion, good stuff.
Wellingham in front. Swan have almost got a free. Nothing doing. Scotland. Houlihan back to Scotland. Judd. Man bearing down. Shrugs off ball. Gets it away. That was strength. Wonderful core strength. Murphy to Yaron. Down towards full forward. Johnson stands his ground. Takes the defensive mark and plays on. Reid to the wing. McCaffer set a task. Dawes comes across to offer a shepherd. McCaffer goes down towards half forward. This will be interesting. Some quality here. Beams and Gibbs. Beams virtually straight up in the air. Bounces on its point. Gibbs a half chance. Knocked away by McCaffer. Gibbs goes again. Jamison full-chested with the outside of the boot did well. Russell straight up the middle of the ground. Judd. Wellingham against his idol. For to draw. Coming through Maxwell. Goes in short. Knocked away by Joseph at the second attempt. Judd stood his ground. Swooping on the loose ball. Maxwell. The two skippers. Well done, Johnson. Johnson the short one. And the mark is taken by Pendlebury.
I think Carlton's real opportunity to get a hold of Collingwood is out in the space, getting players like Chris Judd in the contested situation. Collingwood have been so strong all year, and we saw that there. Ben Johnson, terrific. Outstripped the ball from Chris Judd and delivered the ball very well into the forward 50 to Scott Pendlebury.
Pendlebury will score. It's a question of what. Nice looking kick. First blood to the Magpies.
Just watching the centre clearance there by the Collingwood Footy Club, Tom. They worked it in really well. Judd was one out. He didn't have enough support from teammates, and as a result, almost blew up in 3 minutes of hard play just in the centre.
Well, he looks like he's carrying a bit of a single hand at the moment, Chris Judd. He's actually started the game really well. He needs some support. Probably the most important midfielder to the Carlton, obviously, and maybe in the game. So the other boys are going to have to pick up a bit of slack.
Don't expect to see the ball coming through the middle a lot today. Both these teams love it to bring it around the boundary line. They're ranked 15 and 16th for corridor usage. It actually helps their back lines out. They don't turn it over in the middle as much. Really gives their defences a chop out.
Pendlebury, 6 goals on the season. Cruiser back in the middle with Jolly. Collingwood lead it by a goal early going. Sunday football. Wellingham, Jolly, robbed of it. Yaron, Wellingham, well played. Standing his ground was Didak. Cruiser was coming at him hard. Didak emerges with it. Moves it about 5 metres. Now Judd once more. Slips it out wide. Into the path of Simpson. Paddles it down towards half forward. Now takes control. Henderson was up. Couldn't hang on. Reid down his Shaw. May have caught the knee. Coming through his side bottom. Along the boundary line. McLean upended. Well done by Didak. Works a little 1-2 with Pendlebury. He runs the outer side wing. Goes towards half forward. Stretching with courage Bauer. And now 50.
50. No, hey, Michael, it's 50.
I reckon he's a bit stiff here.
Dawes.
I reckon he's in the air flying for the footy. Here's the first one. That's just Shaw opened up. He's got the ribs just to crunch there with Henderson. But he's already in the air and...
He's pulled out, I think, there. Obviously, there's not much he can do about that.
Certainly won't be looked at any further, but maybe it may have been a little bit stiff.
Still slammed into it. Here's Simpson. 60 metres out. Wanders down towards the pocket. Maxwell intent on getting it out of bounds. Garlett went down. Comes to Yaron from Henderson and he steps a goal.
Yaron got the goal there, and I think it was a long ball into the deep into the forward 50. I don't reckon that'll be Carlton's go today. They've got to honour the small leads. Sure, it's great when the ball hits the deck, but as you see from the replay here, there's not a hell of a lot of space to use, so it was probably the best option there. But to get into the game, they're going to have to generate some leads from the small and
forward. Well, they actually kick more goals from close to goal than any other team in the competition. So with the little fellas there, why not? Play to your strengths.
Emerging player Chris Yaron, 10 goals for this season, second only to Satanta for Carlton this year. Carlton not kicking a lot of goals. Satanta's got 11. Play restarts. Jolly trying to hypnotise Cruiser, I think. It comes to Pendlebury. Swan emerges with the football after the hand pass out wide. Well, Thomas, metres in the clear, decides to take a run. One bounce, kicks inside the forward 50. Dawes with strength.
Strong.
Richo spoke before about how Collingwood would like to use the ball around the outside. It begs the question how Dale Thomas got so much space out there. I mean, he's a fantastic user of the ball. Carlton should have been onto the fact that that's their pattern of play, and they're also rank 1 in inside 50s, the Pies, so it works for them.
He's had to push Dennis. He had to push a good player to get his spot in this side, and Jack Anthony out.
Yep.
Dispatched White with a strong push there as well. And that is a beautiful kick. Sweetly off the boot for Dawes. Good last week. Starts brilliantly this afternoon.
That's a great goal. Collingwood's accuracy has been a bit of a worry so far this year. Travis Clegg turned it round last week against the Bombers. That's a huge confidence builder for the young man.
We'll just see coming here from Dale Thomas. It wasn't the best kick coming in, but just too strong. He was able to just use his brute strength, the left shoulder, to get his opponent out of the way. And as you said, Tom, he just went back. He looked confident, good technique, and gee, he's put on some size since last year.
Yeah,
been working very hard in the gym.
Looks intimidating.
Yeah.
That was a strong lead up and a wonderful kick. That was the entire package there. Chris Dawes. Collingwood by 6 points. Cruiser and Fraser now. Fraser got it on the way down. Pendlebury standing at their feet.
Thank you, Scott.
Already the trend is for Collingwood taking ascendancy in the contested possession, 17 to 11.
Now the ruck's body up. Cruiser wins it down. Simpson, who's been busy, bets nicely. Armfield, Judd goes down towards the pocket. Henderson's in front, but the boundary line too close.
Just looking across the ground, you'll see players running over towards the footy, but at the stoppages, it is one-on-one footy. There's no numbers back. They're going head-to-head. Both sides believe that they can win the one-on-one contest.
So it's not Friday night. Carrazzo, brilliantly done. Murphy, 30 metres out. Murphy kicks the goal on the run.
A couple of concerns at the moment for Collingwood, I can see, Tom. Chris Judd's already had 6.
Yep.
Murphy's had 4, but they've been good possessions by both of them. Now, if you're going to go one-on-one with those boys, you've got to make sure that you nullify their input and their output. So at the moment, I reckon Murphy and Judd given too much latitude.
And they're just so damaging when they've got the ball in hand, and they love a contested situation. The one query for me with Collingwood is the ball out in space. I reckon Carlton probably have a little more class.
Nice running goal to that man, Mark Murphy. Chris Judd having a long extended spell on the ground, trying to push home an early advantage. 6 possessions so far. In the words of Josh Pike, he's smoking like a kettle. He's going beautifully. Scores are level. 13 minutes out from quarter time. Lucas, there he is again. Judd, but missed the target. Coming through was Maxwell. Awkward one for Johnson. Took it nicely. Ball, still going ball. Back to Johnson. Maxwell decides a kick will do. Inside the forward 50. Missed at the back. Initially by Jamison. Picked up by White. Armfield gives it across to a teammate who ran into a dead end. At the base of all of that was Joseph. Comes to Cloak. Deep in the pocket, Davis. Out of bounds on the full in the opposite pocket.
The end result wasn't there, but I think we highlighted in the pre-game piece how important inside 50 tackles are. Medhurst ranks very highly in the competition. He started the game well in that particular category.
Scotland in short. Yaron over the top. Back to Yaron. In fact, it's Bauer. Got it from Gibbs. Fumble McLean. Standing his ground was Jacobs. McLean. Armfield. They're not advancing the footy here. They're under pressure. Gibbs, though, likely to do something. Feigns a hand pass. Cloak got him, put the pressure on. This is young White from Subiaco. Left the footy behind. Picked up by Thomas. Hand passes down towards the pocket. Davis doesn't look. Snaps. And it bounces out of bounds a long way from what he was going at.
I reckon Mick would be happy with that. Just the constant pressure, not allowing that handball out. Brock McLean on a couple of occasions already very fumbly. He needs to get sure hands. Can't afford that off half-back.
Watch Leon next time. He's got the goal surrounded after those last 2 efforts. Knocked down in front, side bottom, smothered off the boot. Armfield onto the crumb, breaks away. Now Gibbs been busy in the last few minutes. Not his best effort, but it bounces to a teammate. Satantaro Halpin kicks it up towards the wing. On the lead, Garlett stolen away by Tuvey. Coming through strongly, O'Halpin once more. Lucas feigns a hand pass, then gives it. The run is Murphy. Murphy across the ground. Simpson will release on his left side. Looks down towards the 50. Forced back to his right. Well done, O'Brien. But the runners were in the corridor. Scotland goes long down towards full forward. And drifting in behind the target is Houlihan.
He had options too, Tom. He could have lowered the eyes. He had some players short, but gee, they were just so much space and so much room to move into each Carlton player.
Terrific play by Kade Simpson to actually, he could have blazed away on his left, deep into the forward 50. Not sure of the end result. Brought the ball back to Heath Scotland. This is a far better result.
I tell you what was terrific there too, as he took the mark. Did you see the guy in front of him, Satantaro Halpin, who moments ago was in the back pocket?
Yep.
And he's blowing up a bit now, Satanta. Houlihan kicks from 25 and barely scores a behind. No, it hit the post and Ricochet is back into the field of play.
Won't be happy with that because he's actually prides himself on being a pretty good disposer of the footy.
Ball's got it from Shaw. Wonderful running by O'Halpin to help in that goal, but, well, attempted goal. he would have been disappointed. The ball is out of bounds at left half forward for the Blues.
Great vision just before. You saw Carlton implementing the full ground zone. Collingwood players had nowhere to go, and again they made plays in their hands to chip around the boundary line.
Jacobs and Fraser. Jacobs, big unit, knocks it down in front. Carrazzo mistimed it. Ball, ditto. Carrazzo got it from Murphy. Murphy's having a good game to the pocket. Now Yaron, can he do what Houlihan couldn't? The identical spot.
2 metres straight away.
Gee, that was good play by Murphy.
Wasn't it?
Just clean, picks it up. You look at that compared to the Brock McLean efforts, and Mark Murphy, he's elevating himself again this season. Speed and cleanliness.
Cleanliness.
Yep.
Up to 6 possessions. Yaron comes in. And like Davis at the other end, they're doing it by degrees. Behind.
It's all pretty even on the stat sheet too. 51 possessions to Collingwood, 62 to Carlton.
Shaw to himself. Wellingham, once they get in the air, there's trouble. He played it pretty well, though, back to Shaw. 3 bounces through midfield. Good shepherd from Ball. Good kick towards half forward and Cloak. Back goes Medhurst. He should go long to Medhurst. Terrible kick, but side bottom read it superbly.
You're right there,
It's amazing what happens when you get the ball inside 50 without mucking around with it, because it puts the defenders on the back foot. It makes them jittery, and even miss kicks make it almost impossible for defenders to stop, Tom.
Well, the key point, I mean, you're right, it makes them jittery. Get the ball in there one-on-one. It never ceases to amaze me how often a missed kick ends up in the play of the forward, because they're the one making the play.
Read it beautifully, and as the name suggests, no stranger to what angles. Side bottom comes in and kicks the goal.
All clear.
It all started with Heath Shaw actually taking a risk from fullback. He played on him himself, backed himself, as we can see on the footage now. A great block we see by Luke Ball just off the screen there, and just getting the ball in. Travis Cloak takes the mark, wheels and goes. Not a great kick, but ends up with still side bottom.
That's the most impressive thing from Collingwood so far, is their off the ball work.
Yeah,
they're happy to shepherd. They're happy to lay a nice bump.
Takes a seat immediately. Side bottom. First career goal against the Blues. Goal for goal at the moment. Captivating stuff. Jacobs and Jolly. Jolly very conscious of his rival. Won it down superbly, as it turned out. Thomas inside the forward 50. Punched away by Gibbs down there. Roving the pack is Davis. Lays it off. Pushing up the ground, Jolly. On the 50. This is a very high ball. Medhurst sets himself and fell over. He's going to get a free kick.
He had to. Took away his leap. Took away his run.
Michael's just run straight into him.
He had his eyes on it too, Medhurst.
5 corridor. Michael's just run straight in. He's back to the footy.
Can't argue that one.
Put the knee in the chest and then pretend you're going for the mark. There we go.
That was one of my legitimate attempts, though. We're talking about Unco. In comes Medhurst and kicks the goal.
Along with Jamison there's a real art to that, to have the ability to keep your eye on the ball, know where your direct opponent is. I mean, he's blatantly looked at Medhurst, and you can't argue the free kick, but if he could somehow keep his eye on the ball, track with a bit of an arc back and launch at the ball, who knows whether he's going to actually take it, but at least spill a legitimate contest.
I think that Jamison too, just having a little bit of trouble with the strength of Dawes. Like Dawes just got him out of the way a bit easy there, so might have to play off him rather than playing shoulder to shoulder.
So the Magpies by 11 points. That's a surprising stat. By centre clearances, just looking at the game, Carlton have seemed to do pretty well in there. Jolly with the patience run the tap down. Jacobs goes after it. Judd picks it up and then proceeded to give it to Swan. Swan bursts away. Brilliant. Not what Judd had in mind.
Is Dane Swan quicker than a lot of people give him credit for?
Lightning. And he just read that so well. He saw Juddy pick it up and he thought, well, I'm not beside you, so what I'll do is I'll just pick your pocket. There it is. And those first 4 steps. He has that ability to be able to pull the kick halfway through. You think he's going to pull the trigger, but he just puts it out in front of his teammate running towards him.
Yeah, even when he's walking, those tats are a blur that time.
Thank you.
Oh,
that was something else, and that's a terrible kick. Behind.
Be interesting with Dawes to see whether there was a difference in his approach. We obviously slotted one from the boundary line before with a more straightforward approach, whether he's actually had consistency in his method going for goal.
So Gibbs to bring it in. Goes to the outer side. Now Collingwood well represented out there, but Bauer did brilliantly.
Darren, play on.
Plays on. Allowed to walk away virtually.
Play on.
Carrazzo on the outer side. Sweeping hand pass now. Yaron into space. Yaron the short one. Henderson 60 metres out from goal. Satanda is long. He centres it. Betts won't get there in time. Turvey gets back and claims the mark for Collingwood. Comes across the ground. Swan up from the back pocket. He's everywhere. Comes out wide. Medhurst. Just something about Medhurst this afternoon. He's got spring in his step. He goes down towards half forward. Dawes has to move. And he does.
He's working hard. He's been very impressive in this opening term, has Dawes.
Still mine.
Looking for Cloak. In from the angle. Punched away down there by Gibbs. Taken by Simpson. Some indecision. Falling to the ground. Bauer. Jamison finds a way through. That's great defence. Smothered off the boot by Turvey. Knocked forward by Simpson. Getting across on the angle was Pendlebury. Coming through is Thomas. Goes looking for O'Brien. He's slung by Betts. Loose ball. Diving on the football, Simpson. Somehow managed to get it out. Murphy. Stolen away by Turvey. Down towards half forward. Beams is in front. In his hip pocket was Joseph. In the back, says the umpire.
It's a big move by Brett Ratton too to put Joseph on Beams. Recognising that he's in pretty good form at the moment, but he wouldn't be the first bloke I'd be trying to stop in the Collingwood side.
Plays on. That's okay, says the umpire. The Shepherd on the mark. Simpson was terrific. Threw himself across the boot there to smother the kick. Driven towards the outer side by Murphy. Satanta stayed on his feet. That was the key. Nothing much to kick to. Henderson, well, he was mugged. He was standing innocently on the wing at the MCG and got mugged. After the football goes Houlihan. O'Halpin. Brilliant once more. Nice stuff from Brown to intercept. Well, almost left it behind at the last moment. Houlihan tries to knock it out. On his knees is Houlihan, still going, not trying to knock it out this time, and could have almost got pinged.
Have a look at Henderson.
That's Mark, please.
We'll see the smother. This is a ripper. Cade Simpson, just full length, but he is just.
That's a real coach killer. You're always told to be on your toes, not the flat-footed hand pass. You'll always get yourself into trouble.
Brown, not his best kick. Everybody locked up down there, one-on-one. Davis, Cloak, bit unlucky with the bounce. Joseph into him. Now Russell. Russell finessing. Davis arriving, bustling, and the ball's out of bounds. Richo?
Yeah, just at ground level, you can already sense it's going to be hard work for Carlton to take marks inside 50 today. Collingwood's already taken 5, and they've just got bigger bodies down there. Carlton are going to have to get some run, receive, and those little blokes are going to have to do their job. Scotland over the top. Murphy, so lively. Lucas, Carrazzo. Across the face of goal, young White. In the big time, off the rookie list. Must be pinching himself. Garlett still going. That was clever by Garlett. He knew what he was doing in there. Shaw back to a clever teammate in Medhurst, and they all fight a draw. Enthralling, though.
Clever by Garlett. Absolutely sensational work by Paul Medhurst. He was out of position. That's the kind of stuff that Nathan Buckley, as the forwards coach, would just love to see. Defensive structures coming into play.
Wellingham. Jolly did brilliantly. Shaw, or rather Swan, miscues with the kick, and the mark is taken by Joseph. Swan up to 6 possessions.
It's a good kick.
Bauer just lays it off. Murphy short to Judd. Murphy 9 possessions. Judd coming up for his 9th as well. Bauer, Gibbs intent on drawing in man, just pops it over the top. Scotland running to space. Now he backs off. Working overtime here, Lucas. Murphy back to Lucas, the boy from East Fremantle, running down towards right half forward. Now he sets it up high. Tailor-made for O'Brien. O'Brien dropped it. Half chance down there for Betts. O'Brien, though, aided by a teammate. They have the numbers, and as a result, they bring it away. Heath Shaw was the man who got back to be the 3rd in that group. And now around the outer side, it's side bottom. Good work by Collingwood. Side bottom, looking to set it up. Just stops out there, short of left half forward. Maxwell involved earlier, tracks it. Tuvey has it from the wing. Not a good kick. Bauer got a fingertip to it. Deflected to Gibbs, and wonderful mark by Judd, who was going. Lucas. A little U-turn. Bad hand pass. Judd can't win it back for him. Maxwell runs to the wing, drives it long down inside the forward 50. Almost Davis. Look at the Quicksilver speed as he hit the deck. Pulled away from his rival. Beams has got it now. Runs to 50. This deserves a goal. It won't be a goal. It's a behind.
Just at the moment, Carlton being found out with the one too many handballs through the midfield. They've just got to, and their forward line structure is probably a bit to blame here, that it's not in place and they haven't got an option up forward. So they've just got to make sure that they eliminate that one extra handball.
Simpson got it over to Cruiser. Scotland involved earlier. Almost dangerous going past the interchange gates. This man came through them moments ago. Stormed onto the ground. Gets that advantage. Most un-Australian. Went across to Houlihan, who centres the ball, and O'Halpin's got it.
It's a great contest, this game, through the middle of the ground. We've seen probably the two best forward forays for both clubs have come from a kick-in, a set play where they've been able to set something up and work the ball efficiently through the middle of the ground and inside forward 50. Unselfish play, and Satanta hopefully gets this one through.
He's had a very good start of the match, Satanta O'Halpin. He's been one of the most influential players on the ground.
Certainly gone back a long way here. The side down by 13 points. Satanta O'Halpin, 35 metres out, kicks truly right over the umpire's hat.
He's been really influential, as we said before. He's pushing all the way back up into Collingwood's defence. He's little touches and tackles and bringing other players into the game. But at the same time, he's also pushing his defender. He's working really hard. He may not have, enormous stats. He's only had the 4 possessions, but he's been a handful already for the Collingwood defenders.
Late arriving crowd, too, I'd suggest now. It's up around the 75,000-80,000 mark. Satanta O'Halpin doing well. And this game living up to expectations. 7 points the difference. Jolly likes to go there a lot, flicking it down behind that time to accommodate Ball, who kicks towards half forward. Falling to the ground, White. Carazzo gets so much of the football. Gave it back towards Simpson. Jacobs, Carazzo back into the fray through midfield. Releases Yaron. Yaron just touched as he kicked. In front O'Halpin, no free kick. Tries to paddle it out. Comes across to Lucas. Betts in trouble. Good tackle by Thomas. And they steal it away as McCaffer gave it to Jolly. Down towards half forward. Bauer needs to go. Well, as it turned out, the ball bounced obligingly. He comes back towards the wing. Simpson, so much of the football. Runs to the wing and kicks beyond. Judd again. I'm not sure he's been off the ground in this term.
He's working hard, isn't he?
Yeah.
Coming in for number 11 already.
What I really like about this forward play is that Chris Judd tracks the footy and making Nick Maxwell accountable. That's what Carlton need to do with all of their forwards.
O'Brien with courage, almost the mark of the Judd kick. Betts to Yaron, open goal, beckons, hits the post.
Got to kick them. Yep. Got to nail them. That's his job.
They've had their chances in this quarter. 14 inside 50s to 11 only Collingwood. So some crucial misses early.
Judd did take a break apparently. 4 minutes off the ground so far. Strong shepherd by O'Brien. Put Garlett down. McCaffer on his knees. Armfield. Simpson across the ground. That's a clever kick, although Russell was a little reluctant. Carazzo, Russell got boot to ball. There he is again. Judd hasn't got the footy. Played for it. Nothing doing. Find the man. There's the siren.
Good quarter.
Great quarter of footy.
It was a beauty. Nick's got that walk going. Chris Judd's got that game going. It's quarter time of the G. Sunday footy. 4-2, 3-2. 6 points the difference. Magpies on top. Interesting too that Chris Judd is starting outside the centre square. He's gone to virtually centre half forward for Carlton. What's the ploy here? Shaw has come up to pick him up. Meantime, Jolly goes high.
Collingwood, free kick to Luke Ball.
Luke Ball's getting a free.
Luke Ball
free
being held.
kick for a hole.
His 5th possession.
Stay out at the back.
Not much movement up ahead, just hoisted high from behind. No contest. Dawes.
Now that was a really good work there by Dawes and Cloak. They got their players together, and their two opponents got lost. That's all you need is bodies to confuse your defender. All of a sudden, Dawes takes an uncontested mark inside 50.
The block doesn't need to be aggressive. It's just someone in there just to cut a line from the defender. It's almost a bit of a set play.
Just confusion.
Yep.
So
Dawes steps to the 50. He's already kicked one beautiful goal, and this one just hung out to the right. Better kick than his last effort. That goal came early, then there was a terrible shot at goal that wandered through for a behind.
Let's have a look at his technique. It's not too bad. Very Anther Rockerish.
Yeah.
That style.
From the Rocker school. Out of defence. Along the boundary line come Carlton. Betts in the road. Gives it away though. Tuvey. McCaffer. Shaw smothered off the boot. Betts back into the fray. That ball was out of bounds, I thought. So did the players. Tuvey over the top. Side bottom. Thought about Didak. Went back looking for Swan. Tackle on Tuvey. Close to the boundary line. Didak centres the ball. It bounces towards goal. Swan wanted it most. Ball grabs it and kicks a goal. And there was no doubting, I think, that ball was out.
That hurt. There's no doubt that ball's out. I'd like to be convinced otherwise. But Collingwood have really good on the turnover. They're probably the best. In fact, they are the best at hurting opposition. We just see heard the opposition on the turnover. Done it again. You've really got to be clean when you're playing against the Pies.
It's a good snap though. Luke Ball on the non-preferred. Good play by Swan too to keep the ball alive.
So much talk in the off-season about Luke Ball. That's his first goal for Collingwood. In fact, both those players changing clubs in the off-season. Brock McLean alongside him. And they never really got over the kick coming out from Russell. Put them under pressure. But as we said, that ball appeared to be over the boundary line. Bauer, Cruiser, McCaffer over the top. On top of him, Scotland.
Hasn't had a kick yet, Cruiser. Hasn't had a mark either. He's only had a couple of handballs, so they'll be expecting him to get into the game.
Interesting, this rucking. Jolly doing best when he can lock up. Coming through the pack was Murphy, left it behind. Cruiser did well, just advanced it towards Murphy. Chopped off though by Shaw. It comes out to Swan. It was brilliantly played down on the deck by Collingwood. Now an opportunity for Dawes. Slung, but gets the ball to Thomas. Thomas the snap. Wonderful goal.
He's been enormous, Dawes. That's his goal. He was too strong. They weren't able to tackle him. It was just a good effort to get it out to Dale Thomas. But we go back and have a look at this. Just strength. Yeah. He's able to hold his ground and hear the call from Dale Thomas. And as a result, they get a shot at goal. He's been really effective. Good strength.
Yep.
.39 plays 20. Okay, Tom, let's take a look at this and see what we can see.
No, that ball's out, Dennis. That's a really costly. You don't want to bag the umpires, but it's a costly mistake.
Carranzo, half chance, stolen away by Wellingham, found a way through. Exciting stuff. Kicks inside the forward 50 side bottom. In front of that boundary umpire again, and the ball is out of bounds.
I guess when it hits the fence, Dennis, there's no doubt that ball's out of bounds.
The crowd didn't miss him.
They've had a couple of boundary line issues between these two sides over the journey.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
there you go.
And some bigger than that last one. Jolly in front, tries to hook it down behind. Cruiser does well. Oh, look at Judd elevate there. Didn't get it though. It's kicked out towards the pocket. Bauer confronted by side bottom. Bauer fought him off in more ways than one. Judd onto the loose ball, almost holding it. Chance for Russell. Under pressure, clears the zone. It comes outside the 50. Betts coming up to meet it. Got there and didn't realise then what to do next, and the ball is out of bounds. Fast Eddie was storming up the ground, and suddenly he got a bounce that put him in harm's way. Speak of the devil. Talking about those boundary situations, unintended. Coming in was Betts once more. Carrazzo tied up by Wellingham. Gee, he's an emerging player. He's going to be a good one.
Just want to have a look at a bit of play here where the ball's there to be won, and Joseph not good enough. You've got to get down with two hands and attack the footy as though you want it, not that you want to tap it on.
Fraser over the shoulder. Houlihan was in the road. Carrazzo to Judd, confronted by Shaw, left behind by Murphy. Pendlebury did well. Maxwell kicks it down towards half forward, bounces high. Gibbs did well. Carrazzo, so much of it. Cruiser, well, he was nabbed, side bottom, stops the footy. It's not coming out. Is that holding it? I'm not sure.
Oh, you pulled it into him.
The past 30 seconds, 90 seconds or so, it's really become a contested situation. We spoke at quarter time that Carlton, if there to be a chance, need to flick it out into space. They're playing right into Collingwood's hands at the moment.
Josh Fraser tracks it towards the boundary. Good shepherd from Johnson. Fraser kicks inside the forward 50. Cloak was up. Could have almost been interfered with. In goes Gibbs. Not pretty.
It's a great example of it just there. 3 Collingwood players onto the 1 Carlton player, just locking it in. Happy for another contest. Happy for it to be a contested game.
Tough for those umpires too, arriving on the scene, and he says the other guy dragged it in. Arms everywhere, no long sleeves, so you've got to put a body to the arms as you rush in. It's like watching an octopus play the banjo, but they generally get it right. Here's a bounce about 40 metres out. McLean thought about a hand pass. Now he kicks. Murphy, that's a strong mark in the hands. Murphy across the ground. Bauer, White is on. So the ball in the hands of a young man who needs to make the correct decision. He drives towards half forward. Not sure that was it. It was 2-on-1. O'Halpin made him look okay. Comes back to White. White goes down towards the 50. Henderson in front, slipped over. Leading back in the race is Brown. Needs a shepherd. Brown almost met his teammate Maxwell coming in the opposite direction. The kick was no good. Thomas couldn't control it. The captain makes amends though. Charges in. Gives a hand pass to Beams. Back to Thomas. Thomas around the outer side wing. Almost the mark out there. Missed by Bauer. Oh, clever by Cloak. He moved the ball a metre. Got it across to Shaw. Beams around the outer side wing. Medhurst. Oh, he was gone.
We saw something just before. We saw Travis Cloak here. Oh, that's pretty clever. But we saw Satantro Houghton, although he didn't take the ball, he was strong, kept his feet, get the ball going forward. Lockie Henderson lost his feet. Collingwood turnover. It was a stark difference between 2 key forwards.
Jacobs got it down to Russell. Very short, Scotland.
Just squeezing them at the moment, Collingwood. They're not allowing that run where Carlton were able to get away in the first term.
Simpson. Carrazzo. Blues needing the next goal.
Haven't been inside 50. That's their problem. They haven't been able to get it past the centre line almost.
Collingwood so impressive again so far in this game.
They just bottle back. They pull their numbers back and they squeeze you and they make you go wide and they slow it down. And Carlton don't want that. They want to play fast, attacking, running football.
White. Scotland under the pump. Gibbs. Enormous skill there. Scotland slipped over. Carrazzo too close to help. Now he dives on top of side bottom. Got a whistle and a ball up.
No room, no space. And whilst Carlton are trying to run it through, it's the pressure of Collingwood that are making Carlton turn it over.
Give him a run. Thanks, Ryan.
Fraser and Jacobs. Jacobs decisively that time. Judd ran into a dead end. Held a long time by Tuvey. Opportunity for Murphy. Superb stuff, Murphy. Oh, well blocked there by Maxwell. Got a hand on the hand pass. Ricochets across towards Henderson. His arm was grabbed in there by Brown. Down goes Tuvey. Scotland got him. And we'll have a ball up. That was trench warfare.
Sort ourselves out, fellas. Give everyone a clear run at it. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Shorey. Thanks, Scott. Rock.
In front, Fraser. McCaffer just lobs it into the puppet side bottom. Beckoned someone to come at him. Cloak was the someone. Knocked away by Bauer. Russell getting better and better. Gets it across to Lucas. Russell across the ground. Jamison. Medhurst got there quickly. Jamison, though, stepped around him. Looked straight down the middle. Wide of McLean, who stopped. He didn't compete hard enough there, McLean. It was almost spilt by Pendlebury. Pendlebury across the ground. In fairness to McLean, that centre wicket area could be a bit slippery. Beams has got it. Kicks it down towards the pocket. Cloak. Good hard running moments ago. Competing on this side of the ground.
Starting to turn the ball over too, Carlton.
Yeah.
Not hitting the targets like they did in the first term. And that's simple pressure from Collingwood.
Yeah.
They're just not giving them any space. They're stopping all the leads coming up, which in turn puts pressure on the kicker because the options going forward aren't there.
They're the best at it in the AFL, Collingwood, in converting turnovers into scores.
Cloak, very good last week with 4 goals. Runs around, opens the angle. What was the man on the mark thinking?
He was asleep. Bauer.
Bauer.
I'm not sure what happened there, but Cloak had almost ran past him, and
that's what alerted him.
What are the rules there? Can you actually play on when you're out of bounds there?
That's on YouTube. Like it or not, Paul Bauer. So's that. Medhurst, 20 metres out, kicks a goal. McLean, who kicked the ball, is coming up very quickly.
Hurting them on the turnover. It's as simple as that. I mean, that one really made the coaches irate. A turnover in the defensive 50. I mean, that's just a basic skill error. You can understand that they're trying to take the game on, but probably not there. And Brett Rattenby absolutely livid on that one.
Well, yeah, it's all well and good to take the game on, but when you're in a dangerous position, you still got to play the percentages. And the rule is, if you go inside, you must be able to go.
Bit to ponder there for that man.
Interesting statistic there. The clangers 17-9.
What about standing the mark? Does that go down as a clanger?
That could be the best one yet.
Chook Bauer. He's got a nickname. God, you can be unlucky. Cruiser knocks it down. Coming through Wellingham. Kicks it down towards half forward. Awkward bounce for Dawes. White read it okay to Lucas. Comes out wide towards the wing. Scotland's in front. Needs some help. Scotland carried forward by Johnson. Scotland gets the free kick.
Chris, aim up, please. Chris, aim up, please. Free kick's been paid early.
That would
Chris.
be like
Back to Heath, please.
looking
Back
at
to
the
Heath,
wall in
please.
your bedroom, wouldn't it? We talked about Wellingham and Judd, your idol, and there he is, roughing you up.
The poster on top, it's for the blue text come free.
We'll go home and take the poster down immediately. Lucas.
It's getting sloppy.
Jamison, though, ample time to recover. And that's nice. Simpson's got it. So real testing time now for the Blues. We're making plenty. Gibbs feeds it back towards the middle. Murphy, so good early, but too few. Being asked to do too much. There goes the kick from Lucas down towards half forward. Storming up the ground, O'Halpin. Just get the feeling if he gets the chances, he can do some damage. Getting in the way there was Purvey. Gave it across towards Johnson. Johnson to the wing, and Ball decides to slow things down. Wellingham. Busy first term with 7. He continues to push on.
He's been good, this kid.
Yeah, he has.
Dawes. Too tall for Medhurst on the lead. Simpson gets back. Gibbs. Russell. Now go long perhaps. Henderson is free on the outer side. Cruiser. Gibbs untidy. Well, Murphy didn't have the football umpire. Hand pass comes across towards, is that Medhurst? It's certainly Armfield. Well, regardless of whether the football's in the vicinity or not, you just can't grab them, can you?
That's a great show of strength from Medhurst, showing you know that's 8 or 9 years in the system compared to young David Armfield. Just couldn't bring him down.
Judd couldn't control it. Out of the congestion. Lucas towards the forward pocket. Back goes Brown. Sits up for him nicely. Getting the ball barracking for Collingwood at the moment. This is Reid out of defence. Nice kick too. Comes out to left half back. Ball has got it. Man on the wing. Turvey decides to run it. Had the one bounce. Goes to Didak. Didak pushing up towards half forward. Here comes Davis. He was held. No free kick. Davis paddles it back into the path of Didak. Didak runs inside the 50. Gun barrel straight. What a magnificent goal.
Regulation for a skillful player like Didak. The way that Collingwood were able to transfer the play at the back, Tom, and use the wing as their ally. Carlton aren't quick enough to switch on when they lose their footy. They aren't covering the space, and as a result, Collingwood players are loose everywhere. As soon as they break, they're away.
They'll be patient too, Collingwood, but then on that particular occasion, Luke Ball had the free player out, and once they go, that is great to watch Alan Didak from that angle. Slots it every time.
Just watching stoppages through the middle of the ground. Nick Maxwell's man goes up to the stoppage. Maxwell just sifts off back in front of O'Halpin and Henderson. While Carlton let that happen, they'll never take a mark inside their forward 50.
Well, their backs into the wall now. Cruiser goes up and thumps them down towards half-forward. O'Halpin, Murphy, Cruiser follows up. Judd wanted the football, now he's got it. Judd in trouble, great tackle. Maxwell forced the error. Wellingham, the beneficiary, gets a hand pass away. McCaffer, Beams. They combine so well, the Magpies. They're on song. Side bottom, on the outer side. Little chip down towards half-forward and Ball. Good closing speed, Jamison. Gets it out of bounds. Interesting dynamic there too. There's Michael Malthouse.
Have a look at that there. You've got these disposals. Carlton 61 to Collingwood 53, yet they haven't been able to translate that on the scoreboard at all.
Wasting.
He's oblivious to that succession plan at the moment. Jolly knocks it down. Scotland emerges with it. Stripped of the football by Beams. Found it again. Gets a hand pass away. Fumble from Jamison. The pressure is simply too much. Side bottom. Didak across the ball. Can he kick his second as a Magpie? Yes, he can.
I'll tell you what was really disappointing about that. There was a dubious decision with the Carlton team. Thought it was holding the ball. Scotland with that one there. Thought that might have been a free kick. Kade Simpson was in the background with his hands in the air. His direct opponent, Luke Ball's got on the goal side of him. And that's not good enough. Absolutely not good enough. As the leader of the team, he needs to stand up. He can't be there umpiring and calling the game. Scoreboard really hurts every time.
Well, score one for the good guys. Luke Ball, good to see. Is it too early to panic? No, why not beat the rush? Juddy around the boundary line. He's been terrific. Out of the middle. Swan floats it to half forward. Simpson gets back. So the margin is blown out to 38. Wide to Gallup. Unsighted. Then hesitates. McCaffer didn't. Knocks it out of bounds.
Real test for the Blues. I think if we just keep an eye on a few of the players and their body language. Chris Judd's off the ground at the moment. Love to see him out there and just generating some excitement, some real structure and some real influence on the game.
Jacobs in front. Manhandled by Jolly. Knocked forward by Garlett. Well done. Runs onto the loose ball. 60 metres out from goal. Centering kick. Well read by Reid. The confidence surging now in Collingwood. Goes to the wing and Medhurst has got a couple. Medhurst kicking it down towards half forward. Cloak is outnumbered. Taking a risk. Falls in front. Thomas. Thomas back to Cloak. Cloak inside the forward 50. Decides to shoot. It's coming back, but not in time. It's a behind.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah, and they are hot. And they're hot because they're smashing them at the clearances. 10-2 in the centre. And around the ground, 19-12. They've got to, at a stoppage, be able to start controlling some of them, because at the moment Collingwood are just running it out too easily.
Henderson out of defence then. Jacobs. Oh, that's a good mark. He was still swinging on the way down.
He was like a big pine tree. Just stood up and put the branch up.
Gibbs has got it. Goes back. Now I think the crowd reacting because Gibbs put the ball above his head, which is the universal signal for we're not sure, but we suspect it's to do exactly what they're doing.
What's that?
Just taking some clock off.
Well, I just let them know that they're 39 points down. They probably need to move it quick. That's when they're playing their best footy then.
Well, if you've got this much of the ball and just doing this, wouldn't be a bad idea to deflate the ball.
It's fantastic footage. You can see how structured the Collingwood side is, and Carlton just aren't going to be able to penetrate here. And if they are, they need to move it quickly. But if you look through,
Scotland now,
the Carlton players just aren't running.
I think we're on the right track with that Synox. Bauer towards the outer side. No surprise to the crowd either.
No.
No. Kick down towards half forward from Carazzo. Garlett missed it. It's out of bounds.
There's just no method with Carlton's ball use then. They sort of just wanted to find a loose target. They didn't really know where it was. I think they needed to sort of set up, actually have a bit of a plan to work their way through a press, because all good sides do that, and Collingwood are one of the best when it comes to defending a turn.
Wellingham.
Numbers.
Pendlebury. Beams. Swan. Familiar names there, but stolen away by Lucas across to McLean. Carlton with a chance. Houlihan in trouble. Wheels around, gives it to Lucas, goes down towards the pocket. Satanta. Oh, that was a wonderful mark. Turns around, springs to his feet like a meerkat, and goes in and kicks the goal.
He has been the shining light up there. Sedeno helping. He got beaten in a one-on-one contest just before, but that there was not an easy mark.
No.
That was a really tough mark under enormous pressure, and it just stuck. And it's the first flow-on effect that Carlton have had going forward without going backwards. But that is a beautiful mark, and he had the awareness to get up and go again. He was, as you said, Dennis, a meerkat.
A meerkat. A mere bagatelle. Satanta with 2. Judd is back on the ground, and guess where? In the centre square. Young Lucas getting a few possessions in the build-up there as well. Taken pick 12 in last year's draft. 1 of 2 they got for Brendan Favola. Judd immediately in the action. Wellingham taken high. Coming away as Beams. Will they get the quick reply? Side bottom. Steps inside the 50. Oh. And that would have been a real body blow had he kicked that. Carlton thinking they got something at the other end, and have it sort of squashed in the space of 30 seconds would have hurt.
They need something, Carlton. They need to be able to string a couple of goals on together. But their run through this part of the ground has really dried up.
Yeah.
Don't see much movement at all. Collingwood have got an 18-man defence, and if you don't hit the target, you're going to be cut in half.
White got it from Judd.
And all the players are peeling out the back to try and get the cheap free kick. They've got to be moving up the ground.
Yeah, Scotland.
It's it, Scotty.
Got to go long. There's no other option. Down to Cruiser.
Well, the kick favours Reed. Hands to it. Didn't hang on. Should have. Houlihan kicks inside the forward 50. Will almost. Still might trickle in there. More to the point. O'Brien missed it. Man on in the middle. Yaron. O'Halpin just lobs it to him. Yaron goes in and lobs it through for a goal. His second. Took his frustration out on that.
It's your boy Satantox.
It's his day. It's his day. Even the balls. This is an Irish jig just here. You'll see it. This one. Bang. It's Satana. He's in the right spot. But it's a really good look in. He looks inside. You see him look over the left shoulder. And Yaron, just go back and kick it because you haven't had the best afternoon.
Ugh.
Go back to business, and your next couple of efforts have got to be spot on.
He's been terrific, Satanda. I played on him a couple of times towards the end of my career, and what he always did was he had a massive crack. And I've been watching him today. He's got great work rate. He keeps presenting. He keeps having a dip, and no surprise, he ends up getting the ball. He's been really good.
Has indeed. Jacobs down the throat of Judd, who sends them long down towards full forward. Big pack. Here he is again. Satana held without it. We talk about teams having a day. Well, Satana's having a day. He got that last goal from a favourable bounce, so the goal is set up for Yaron.
One of the most... Sorry, one of them...
All right, Ryan.
He milked it. It was there, but he made sure the umpire saw it.
Time back on.
One of the most damning statistics for the game so far, and it's a way that the Carlton can get back into it. They're averaging 50 disposals per goal. Collingwood are 17, which is just a true reflection of their efficiency. The last 2 goals, well, this goal, hopefully Satanda kicks, and the one just previously to Yaron. They move the ball more directly, more precisely, and with less possession. That's the key for Carlton to get back into the game.
And what about Judd? Back on the ground. And O'Halpin kicks them back into it. First to celebrate the skipper.
Well, that's his 14th goal for the season, and I reckon if O'Halpin actually kicks 50 goals for the season, Tom, he's just about. I reckon that's a super output for him. Yeah. For a player that hasn't played a lot of forward footy, I think that's a great result.
I've seen him play a couple of times this year, and I've been really impressed with his, not only his physical presence, what Richo was talking about, but just his general forward nous. He's learning the game almost game by game. It's really impressive.
So it's manageable again. 60 plays 38.
It certainly is, and that's O'Halpin's best ever amount of goals in a season. We're in round 6, so great effort. In 2007, he might have got 13 goals.
You're predicting he'd declare now, are you?
Might have just found one here, Dennis.
Here's Lucas. Might have found one with him as well. He goes down towards half forward. Terrific by Shaw. Look at the dash. Wonderful defender. Wellingham, the look-away hand pass. Turby robbed of it. Judd once more, single-handed. He's lifting his side back into the game. Satanta leads back in the race. Well, maybe he's the other hand. Although it's Judd out of O'Brien's back towards Satanta. O'Brien goes again. Look-away handball was good. Judd, well, he ran hard to try and put pressure on O'Brien as the kick comes up towards the wing. Jacobs battles there with Fraser. Spills out to McLean. Brock McLean, look out! Oh, wonderful, arriving quickly, Swan. What a competitor. Sockers it off the ground. He now Murphy dead to rights. Dawes claimed by Henderson. He prods it across towards Fraser. Taken down by Joseph. Over the top goes Jacobs. And we'll have a ball up.
Gone up here. It's gone up a notch. Carlton just got a little bit of a sniff here. Intensity's gone up. Tackling pressure on their last 3 or 4 has been spot on.
Thomas decisively. Pendlebury. Claimed by Russell. For so long, Russell much maligned, but he's running into a rare vein of form.
It's a pretty significant interchange about 5 or 6 minutes ago, and that's number 5 for Carlton, came back onto the ground.
Got 4 possessions in about a minute.
Boundary throw in. One down by Jolly. Well done by Thomas. Swan. High ball to half forward. 2 on 1. Missed by Gibbs. Fell in front. The last place for it as far as Carlton were concerned. Side bottom to Didak. Didak goes in and kicks the goal. Doesn't give you a second chance, number 4.
Numbers, they come inside and they've got numbers there, and as soon as Collingwood break with the ball, they're away. You see the ball come inside here. It's sloppy too by the Carlton defenders not to keep the ball in their zone, and over the top. Didak, he's done that his whole career, being able to get into the right spot at the right time.
Just watching that, Tommy, should Barr have come and killed that ball, do you think?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think that's the number one role for a defender.
That was not good by Carlton. Tom just making the point there that Bauer chose not to fly. Needed to get it out of there hot. As it was, it came out slow, and side bottom set things up. Cruiser over the top, knocks it down. Judd once more. Left it behind this time. Simpson bounces off Pendlebury, who managed still to get him down. Oh, well done, McCaffer. McCaffer sends it down towards half forward. Peeling off in front and doing pretty well was White. He tracks it out towards the boundary line. Bargain basement player. Gives it across to Lucas. Back it comes to White. White, 56 in the draft. He drives it down inside the forward 50. Lurking behind Betts. They need something from him. Simpson will go with the left foot and do so with distinction.
They're just starting to find holes now, Carlton. They're starting to get the ball, and they're not going backwards. When they're pushing the ball forward, they're half a chance. When they play that slow tempo footy, that's the time that Carlton are getting themselves into trouble. 2 words, forward and quick, Ox. That's what they've got to do.
So Murphy going at his second. Margin currently at 28. Make that 22. Blues are surging.
Not going away here, Carlton. No, it looked like Collingwood were going to really get out to an 8 to 10 goal lead, and all of a sudden it's back to 22 points, and Carlton look really dangerous when going forward, Tom. Yeah,
they're quite contradictory teams, really. Collingwood are a really strong contested ball team, and if the game's played in that manner, they'll win. If we can flick the ball out in the open with some handball receives and some uncontested possession, that gives Carlton a real chance. They've got some fantastic decision makers when in time and with space.
Mark Murphy 15 possessions, 10 times, 2 goals at the MCG for Murphy, never 3. Chris Judd up to 18 possessions. Still more to be done. Neither ruckman touched the footy. Wellingham, who's been wonderful. Judd left it behind. Carrazzo knocked it across towards Scotland. Carrazzo comes away with it. After the deflection, he kicks inside the forward 50. Shaw got a hand to it. Murphy, how did he control that? It was like a basketball dribble. After the football, Henderson just wrenched away by Murphy. In goes Scotland, shrugs free, gets a hand pass off. Murphy on his knees, brilliantly. Cruiser taken down by Maxwell. Judd out of there. Carrazzo gets it across towards Armfield. It is hot in there. In comes Thomas. He didn't realise it for a moment. He got free. That surprised him. Johnson swan through midfield towards half forward. Hitting the ball hard is Cloak.
Wellingham's free.
Look at him going back. Dawes, that is hard. Running by Dawes. Wonderful. Cloak lobbed it on his chest. It was like a wide receiver and the quarterback linking up.
Gee, they worked hard to get that. Yeah. They really did, and Dawes has been super impressive.
If it wasn't to be Dawes, it would have been Wellingham. Some terrific offensive running. We see it right here. Either runner could have taken it.
Just that extra tackle, wasn't it, that got Murphy.
Dawes. Goal.
Took him to the ground. All clear. Took him to the ground after he'd taken the mark.
It's interesting. That's Dawes' 4th mark inside 50. That's no other Collingwood player's got near that. I think one's the next best. He's been a revelation today, Ox. No doubt about that.
I love his strength. He really works before the ball gets to the contest to find a bit of space.
Yep.
And some players are just happy for the player to be there, but he really uses that bulk to push off, and using his strength to find a bit of space can only help them long term.
Dave, back on Friday night, I was talking about taking the rallies from overseas to their first game of AFL and watching that. If you brought them this afternoon, they'd go back home thinking they saw one game of AFL football and not be sure which one it was.
And the experience in the crowd too.
Chalk and cheese, isn't it? Out of the middle, kick comes forward from Lucas down towards right half forward. Simpson, been lively, pushed, goes again. Good pressure from Tooby, side bottom. They hunt in packs, these Magpies. Pendlebury towards half forward, overshoots the mark. Well done by Joseph, intended for Davis coming up on the lead. Here we go. Back to Russell. Jamison, and this is fair enough, I guess, just to run down the clock to half time. Bit theatrical there from Bauer. That's his position out there. He would recognise it. He did scratch his patch. Coming away is Murphy. There's the siren for half-time. Sunday footy. Try as they might. The Blues in the shadow of the Magpie. Collingwood, 11-6-72. Carlton, 7-2-44. Half-time on Sunday footy. Bruce is next.
To get some real work in, and he's in fantastic form.
Well, to see Matty Cruiser get his hands on the footy and a bit more kicking. Hasn't had a kick yet.
Sense of deja vu as we started. Third term MCG Sunday football. Gibbs taking a long time to get the arms free, too long. Pinned by Johnson, who's been handy. Where's Dawes? Generally, he's been the target. He's breaking again. He's got clear of Henderson. Oh, that's too easy.
He's too big. He's too strong.
Well, he can't be too fast as well, can he?
Well, if he is, he had a lot to look forward to. I like his kicking action. I know he one came off his knee before, but this distance is not a problem. He can he kicks so much like Anthony Rocca. Just have a look at the style.
Your reputation's on the line here.
I reckon he'll kick this.
Okay. Dawes so impressive last week. Even better this afternoon. Kicks from 52. Just tails away, but it wasn't a bad kick.
Thanks, Dennis.
I think that's a fair comparison with Anthony Rocca. There's the mechanics, I guess, from the hip flexion and the follow through with the foot. That's a good spot up, Oxford. Well done.
Russell the Judd. See what you're missing on Sundays, Tommy? That's just regulation for the Ox. To the outer side, big spring there came from White, off hands and out of bounds.
There he is, just giving some tutorials. One day a week down the club.
29 points the margin.
Put the NFL career on hold for a season to concentrate on helping out the Pies.
Simpson out against the boundary with the right boot. Pushed across the line again by young White. As I mentioned earlier, from Subiaco, 56 in last year's rookie draft. Subiaco, where Collingwood assistant coach Scott Waters.
You need to find one or two of them each draft. You need to be able to find one after 50 that comes through and has some sort of impact, because they're just bonuses.
Scott Waters won a couple of premierships at Subi. Have to say that. There's Simpson. In trouble again. The tackling has been relentless from Collingwood.
Oh.
Gibbs at the base of that pile.
He's copped a nice one in the chin from his teammate there in the big boy. Big Jacobs.
Jacobs.
Known to be a little bit clumsy, the ruckman.
And Jolly won it down, but almost taken by Gibbs. Jolly soccers off the ground. Good game by Jolly so far. Thomas has been busy. Kicks inside the forward 50, taking a tumble. Henderson. Dawes into the path of Davis. He was unlucky there. Surrounded by Carlton players. Armfield, that was good. Gave it across to Russell. Russell drives it out towards left half back. Close to the boundary line it goes out. That's a good result for Carlton. They were outnumbered 3-on-1 there. But again, Collingwood have started this term with real energy, as they did in the second term. It was only that late flurry from Carlton that got them back with any chance. Here's Gibbs. A lot of the football in this term so far goes towards half forward. Cruiser comes at it, takes a very good grab. Doesn't pay.
Please.
Gee, very close to a mark. And then missing the target was Yaron, putting the body in Simpson. Comes back to Yaron. They were lucky. Jacobs, Yaron through midfield, out wide, going back with the flight of the ball. White. 55 metres out wide. Men on in the middle. They've got an extra man. Well, oh dear. O'Halpin came back at the foot. He clogged things up a little bit, but might get a goal on the bounce.
It's his goal.
O'Halpin's got 4.
That's great to see, Satander. He's got everyone up and about. He's been fantastic.
Slumming it down here, don't worry about that. That gives them a little bit of a sniff, and the big Irishman, he's been on fire today.
Career high for Satander O'Halpin, his third time with 4 goals. That was interesting, though. He brought his man to where Carlton had a spare man. He needed to kick the goal, or at least mark it.
Doesn't matter what he does. It's going to turn out right for him.
He's just rolling, Satander.
Well, if he wasn't out there, they would be in trouble, because he's the only big bloke for Carlton doing anything up forward. It's been very good.
I'm predicting an 8 for him. Plenty of time to double it. Same thing I said last Friday on the tipping. Murphy, alas, finished on 4. Hope it doesn't happen to Satander. Scotland gets it out. Over the football is Betts. Manages to release the football. Joseph. Armfield arches the back and runs away. Still going, Armfield. Runs down towards half forward. After that second bounce, it was a long run. Now Betts swoops, runs in and kicks a goal. Uplifting stuff.
Well, Satander's doing it all. He's even faking taking marks. Just let it go through, and then comes Betts. That's Betts' first kick of the afternoon.
Armfield's the key here. We've spoken about Carlton needing space, needing speed, and just getting the ball going forward. He's charged his arm. He's put the afterburners on and making Collingwood defend one-on-one as opposed to collectively as a team.
I reckon league speed is going to be Collingwood's only danger here this afternoon.
6 of the last 8 goals now for Carlton. And Betts accelerating quickly, as did Armfield before him. It was all about speed, that goal. Margin 17 points, back in it. That's the mood of the meeting here at the MCG, and a free kick to Judd. He was being held.
The other important thing, Dennis, is the accuracy. Carlton have been able to kick 9 goals too, and it's kept them in the game.
Judd the high ball, Cruiser, O'Halpin from behind, hit it hard, found it on the ground, hand pass too slick there for Houlihan, tracks it to the pocket, looks back towards the middle, coming up is White. They might have found a forward here. He's gone from defence up forward, and he's found plenty of the ball so far in this term.
Well, there's a lot of players inside 50, so he's got to go back and have a set shot, but it was O'Halpin again, and I don't want to harp on it, but he doesn't go to ground. He still keeps his feet. He gets the handball off, and as a result, they're having another shot at goal.
Goalless so far in his AFL career.
Yes.
White. This will take some sort of kick, and it's bending back. He was watching Richo at half-time.
What a kick. What a great kick that was. That is the hardest pocket to kick goals from here at the MCG. And all of a sudden, the ball comes out of the centre. There's O'Halpin. He makes it happen. Comes out, and they're away. But it's Judd's kick, holding off the ball. They're a little bit nervous here, Collingwood, Tommy.
Yeah, no doubt. Collingwood were 39 points up halfway through the second quarter. Now it's obviously only 11 points. Real energy in the Blues at the moment.
11 points the difference. And Carlton continuing their late run from the second term. That's with the fine. With the parking inspector. The ball spills out wide. Murphy again hesitates. Goes again. Well played to Gibbs. What a class there. More class on the overlap. Scotland. Satanta.
Oh, here he is, Ox.
This is irresistible.
We love it. The emergence of the young man. He had a lot of pressure on his shoulders coming into this season with Brendan Favola leaving, and many suggested that he wouldn't be able to deliver anywhere near enough for him to be able to hold down the key position.
He's a fantastic physical specimen, but what I love is his nous around the forward line. He knows when to lead. He's actually looking like a genuine key power forward.
There's not too many Irishmen that have been able to come into the game and play up forward. A lot of them are good at defending, coming at the ball, but he's breaking new ground here.
Never 5 goals in his career, Satanta. Should kick this one. Oh, no. Well, that was the danger for him. Just looking at him there, he was trying to settle himself because he's been so involved in the last 5 minutes. Just get his breath back. And they put you on the clock pretty quickly. Here's O'Brien. Got it from Shaw. Maxwell, right half back. Takes off. One bounce. Drives it beyond the wing. What a beautiful kick. Cloak just drifting in behind Bauer. Plays on immediately. The angle kick to the pocket. Henderson leads back in the race. Boundary line is close. Armfield takes it across.
Gee, as a centre-half forward leading up, Cloak's just got to be better than that. He had no pressure on him, or he had to kick it into the dangerous area, which is in the corridor, and he didn't go there. Look at the disposals, 28-11. Good start by the Blues.
Cruiser knocks it down. Judd once more, the beneficiary, lays it off. Russell, taken high, Russell.
Advantage, advantage, advantage.
Advantage is played. Simpson. Now Lucas. They're storming around the other side, Carlton. Lucas delays the give. Simpson, beautiful kick. Like an arrow. Houlihan's got it. Houlihan right on the wing, and the MCG is pulsating. The long ball, terrible kick. Cruiser was in position. He just put it up over his head.
Just have a look at the Russell one here. Oh, just one on the button.
Ball. Now Shaw told to play on. Harry O'Brien back to Ball. Fraser at centre half back. Side bottom needs to go here. Didn't take them out. Clever. Garlett right on him. Side bottom tries to flick it out. McCaffer. High ball towards the wing. The old spiral. How will it bounce? Awkwardly for all concerned. Well, all bar one. Judd. Sweeping hand pass inside. Trying to lift his team. Gibbs, who's been good. And that is a beautiful kick. Houlihan. All sideways. His ball.
The big move that Brett Ratner's come out with, that Gibbs has started on half-back. He's gone into the midfield too and had an immediate...
Doesn't he think his way through traffic well? I mean, he just takes that extra half a step. Some people say you got to move it at all costs, just to weigh up the options. A fantastic player in traffic, Bryce Gibbs.
So Houlihan to pull the margin remarkably under a goal.
He's got to kick through it. He often tries and steers them through. That's it.
Beautiful. It's really on now.
They're a good side, Collingwood. They won't let this continue on for much longer. They may drop a number back, but at the centre part of the ground, Tom, just numbers again, league speed. That was the worrying sign in the first half. If there was anything that Carlton could hang their hat on, they were quicker when they were going through the middle.
Ball out in space. Collingwood need to lock it down. They need a few stoppages. If they get their hands on the ball, I wouldn't mind seeing them actually slowing, doing the tempo style footy just to take the sting out of the game.
Footy clubs love to measure their contested possessions these days. It's nearly the most important thing in AFL footy. And Carlton are smashing Collingwood this quarter, 16-4. That's what's got them back into this game.
The Blues have kicked 8 of the last 10 goals. So often the way, though, you run up to a team. Now they need to run past Collingwood. Collingwood, of course, with some resolve, no doubt.
Dennis, 37 possessions to 17 to Carlton in this term. And that contested possession count that Richo just said, 16-4. Mick would be filthy that they aren't getting their hands on the foot and winning the tough ball just like that one there.
Murphy Judd, Scotland, who's been busy from half-back, goes down towards half-forward. Worked off at Houlihan, coming away as Shaw. Close to the boundary line. It was okay. Cloak takes the mark.
I'd be slowing it down here, Collingwood.
Cloak will kick towards centre half-forward. Hangs a long time in the air. Russell was up from his fingertips. Paul's in front. Davis. They needed a smother and Lucas delivered. That was terrific. There was a man on around the corner. Judd only as far as Scotland. That was out of bounds. Perfect view of that for us along the line. Watch Lucas. Just a novice. Shane Woden taught him well at East Fremantle. Thrown in, knocked down nicely by Fraser.
Another one.
Yeah, that was McLean that time. After it goes side bottom, can he get through? Standing his ground doors, spills across to Cruiser, gives it to Henderson, no way out. Side bottom, took him front on, and we'll have a ball up.
It's hot in there. This is a fantastic game of footy, an absolute ripper.
Dominated by Collingwood in the second term early. And now storming back. Here's ball, open goal square. He's a goal kicker. Luke Ball has kicked 3.
That's just clever football by a player who knows how to win a stoppage. Made a career out of it.
Yep.
And you'll see there, Carazzo will learn. You need to look at the tape during the week. That when you're inside defensive 50, you being the defender, you've got to get dangerous side. He just allowed ball to go in, and that is an absolute no-no from a person or a player that should know better.
Yeah, just starting point, arm across.
Well, he's delivering on the big stage. Luke Ball, a bit like Daniel Bradshaw last night, making a point for all to see. Hadn't scored a goal on this ground since 2006. This afternoon he's got 3. Rucks go at it. Cruiser up high. McLean wrestled down by Pendlebury. What about that, Tom? You surge up to a team coming from a long way behind. You just about get on terms. So often the way they find something, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's why Collingwood is such a great side, and everyone's talking about them being the team to beat at the moment. Carlton needs to continue to do what they've been doing in the past 20 minutes of the game and take it on like this out in space. It's fantastic.
There's Yaron running. Didak was dragged down. Looping hand pass over the top. Hand pass comes on in turn from Garlick. Snapped by Betts. Hit the post.
Really interesting matchup, that one. Harry O'Brien's done a pretty good job on Betts, but he's only had the one kick. He's not getting that normal, strong, powerful running out of the defensive 50, which we're used to seeing from Harry.
Didak to Shaw. Just prods it forward to Reed. He's at left half back. Who would have thought? 9 points the difference. Kick to the outer side. Hard and true. Beams. Swan, by his standards, a little quiet this afternoon. To Cloak. Back to Swan. Bustling run towards half-forward Medhurst. Crowd 150, nothing doing.
Interesting scoreboard at the moment, Dennis. 70 to 79. 1970 and 79 grand finals.
You're amazing. Medhurst down towards the pocket. Off hands. Taken down Davis. Down goes Joseph. Armfield taken high against Davis.
Careful. Straight away. Straight away.
Armfield across the ground. Carazzo.
Play on. On.
Russell.
Play there.
Gibbs on for a very short one, but I don't think he'll go there.
Move it on. Play
Got
on.
McLean.
Play on.
Oh. Well, McLean did well to get an arm in there.
Just
It was a nothing kick.
have a look at this one here. You see her helping there. Betts, he's an opportunist. May have had an option, but I guess that's what he's paid to do, isn't he? Kick the big snappy goals from 15 metres out.
And things were happening very quickly there.
Here we go.
Although you would recognise the Tanner's voice, I reckon. Lucas got it from Gibbs, goes down towards half-forward, over the head of Yaron. Here we go. Chance to make amends. Open goal, bounces it through. Less than a goal, the difference again.
And that was young Lucas got the ball at half-back, and Collingwood can't afford to give Carlton the middle of the ground and in space. We see it here. It's almost game over. So much space to use. A beautiful kick long forward. And when you've got the guys like Eddie Betts and Jeff Gartlett and Chrissy Yaron floating around there, it's very dangerous territory for the Pies.
Well, they're just running onto the footy, and as soon as they get the ball now, they have the confidence that they're going to win the one-on-ones, and they get it in quick, and gee, it puts...
Well, it's not September, it's not December, which may explain why Satanda's little helpers were slow to wake up. They're abuzz now. They're in the workshop. 79-76. Jolly. Knocked forward by Carazzo. Taken by Judd. Goes down towards half forward. Coming up, Maxwell takes the mark. Maxwell swings it out wide. Ball. Growing in confidence. Flicks it over the top to Wellingham. A good player from the start. Inside the forward 50. Dawes couldn't complete the mark. Russell manoeuvring there with Medhurst. In goes Henderson. Medhurst rolled him down. Beams tackled by Armfield. Out of there by Pendlebury. Taken by Jamison. He was taken down too. Pendlebury emerges with it. Umpire let them play. Johnson to Beams. Goal beckons. He's got it.
Oh, it's a fair game of footy. It's a fair game of footy.
Who would have thought we were at a Collingwood game?
No. The crowd are involved, and a couple of occasions today, the players have stopped thinking that the whistle's either going to be blown or they've heard something. But once again, the ball stayed alive and just taking their opportunities.
And on that, Ox, I think it's been terrific umpiring today. The umpires have let it go. It's been a fantastic display from them, and terrific game of football.
Good young player, Dane Beams. Interesting too, the possessions in the game so far. Carlton 287, Collingwood 217. That's quite a disparity.
Like the move too of Henderson going back onto Dawes.
Right, yep.
Just a bit playing off him, not using his strength, but just playing off him.
Scotland as they go goal for goal. Dragged down, worked off the ball, Judd. Emerging with the football jolly, quickly across to Johnson. It was well played by Turvey, at least initially. Knocked it forward to no one in particular. Russell surrounded. They beat him. The pack descended on him. Pendlebury to Thomas. Down towards full forward. Didac could have been held. Ball rolls out of bounds.
That's terrific footy from Armitage. A young player can often, when playing on a player like Didac, get sucked into sort of making contact, giving away a free kick.
Well, didn't understand why Didac didn't jump at the footy there. Armfield just beat him in the air.
Oh, Sam Jacobs free.
Jacobs getting the free kick.
Right now, Dane.
Way on the court. Bauer. Lucas.
Got a big zone set up. He's got nothing to go to. That's why he doesn't want to kick it down the line.
Bauer. The middle might be the place.
Yep.
There's a man on inside the centre square. That's Gibbs, but
They've got to move though, Dennis, at the moment. They're a little bit stationary.
Not surprising they're a bit tired too. They really have come hard as Joseph finds Lucas. Lucas along the boundary line. Stretching. Jamison did well. Looks back to the middle. Chance to work things here. Scotland a big turn. Bauer. Not sure he's the man to have the ball in this situation. Armfield. Here's a man who should have the ball. Murphy looks towards the outer side. Henderson. You need the right men with the footy making the decisions. Satana O'Halpin gets a free kick.
It's a good free kick though, because Satana would have taken the mark.
This
50.
is it.
It's his day, Den. It is his day.
We've got the camera on Mick. How's that for timing? Oh well. Mick is almost serene.
A bit more. About there. About there.
Here.
Well, Turvey gave away a pretty good free kick because Satana was going to take it. I think that he bets just sneaking in. He thinks he might be able to get one here. But he was away, so I'm not sure what the 50 was for, but certainly kicking it away maybe.
Just half a metre, Nick, please. Thank you. Yes.
So, as we said before, for a career high,
That's it.
Ben Reid, the infringer there, who just gave away the 50-metre penalty.
Carlton to pull within a goal yet again. Shuffling approach. Satana puts it through. He's got 5.
Gets genuinely excited, Satanta. We see the free kick here. Ox was right. It was almost the professional style of free kick, so you'd take that to slow the game down. However, obviously not the 50-metre penalty that came from Ben Reid. Just kicked the ball away. We'll just see it just here. I mean, he wouldn't have heard. It's a massive crowd. It's an extremely harsh penalty. Satanta O'Halpin, who would have thought?
Big Satanta, that's his 5th goal, and you just get the feeling they're missing Presty a little bit today. Collingwood's back 6 is magnificent, but the wise old head in Presty, I don't reckon he would have had 5 kicked on him.
Jumping high, Cruiser. Jolly, though, directs it down. Cruiser kept coming, and again. Rocks Horns with ball. McLean going in the opposite direction.
Dennis, Tom, what do you reckon the record is for an Irish-born goal kicker in one match?
I'm going 5.
Yeah, I'll say 5.
5's correct. You've done your homework. He's going to break records here today.
Who was that, incidentally? Is it Satana? Wasn't Sean White?
Might have been either Jimmy or Ty, I reckon.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, socket off the ground by Davis out wide. Swan's got it. You pique our interest all the time, you do, David. Here's Johnson. Around Joseph, looks inside the forward 50. Wellingham does well once, not twice, but spills behind. Beams taken down. Great tackle by Murphy. Scotland has been everywhere. Along the boundary line, Simpson. They are indeed. Russell needs to talk his mate into it. He does. Needs to shepherd him. He does. Murphy towards half forward. Maxwell. He'll send them in the opposite direction. They're on Collingwood. Swan calling for the ball. Maxwell delivers. Cloak, the next link in the chain. He's outside the 50. Judd works hard. Gets across. Closes him down. Wellingham runs as hard as Judd.
Counter punch football.
The break there was young Lucas. He actually went over to and freed up Cloak. He probably should have just stayed with him just to make sure the flow wasn't on. A rookie mistake, but it's an important kick for the young fella.
Well, Carlton had full control on the outer side of the ground, but what they did is instead of just slowing the play up, they kicked to a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And Murphy just is an error that Brett Ratton won't be happy with.
Oxy. You know how I get a man crush.
Yes.
Jared Wellingham in the gun. Here he comes. Oh, I like it a lot. Lovely kick.
He's the most improved player on Collingwood's list from last year. He's taken Tarkin Lockie's spot in the team, and every week he's starting to rack up huge numbers. He's already had the 19 possessions. He's had the 4 marks, 3 inside 50s, 5 contested possessions. The most impressive thing for Wellingham is 8 tackles. Not only is he getting it, but he's working hard too, Tom.
And in big games, Ox, we had a fantastic game in the Anzac Day. This is another big game against Carlton. He's really come on in leaps and bounds.
Wellingham takes a break. He credits his high school coach, Mr. Montague, with a lot of his success. Teachers like jockeys don't have Christian names, so if you're watching Mr. Montague, well done. 91 plays 82. What a game. 3 times Carlton within a goal. 3 times Collingwood have got the next one. McLean in and out of trouble, too much trouble. Free kick to Collingwood, advantage is paid. Swan surges away. Russell one out. This will roll through. Swan! Swan from long range.
Just looking at that, Brock McLean too slow to get rid of the footy, and coming into the game there was probably Ball and McLean.
Yeah.
Just looking at probably similar players, come from different clubs. Ball's influence over the game compared to McLean's influence over the game. There's a big difference between them, and that's just a great finish.
And that was vintage Collingwood. They brought it back into the contest, 3-on-1. That's the way they play their footy. Search the ball forward with a long kick.
Well, he's been influential in the last few minutes. Dane Swan up to 20 possessions. His first goal. Confidence coming back into their fans. It's all happening inside the centre square. Cruiser, ball a half chance. Thomas off the ground. No time to pick it up. Danawat's half forward. Pendlebury read it best off the boot. There he is again. Swan surges to half forward. 45 metres out. Sets it up. Russell. Knocks it back across the line behind.
Dane Swan just lit the MCG up in the last 2 minutes. Yes. He's a brilliant footballer.
Murphy around the outer side. This is when the good players get cracking.
It's a great test for the young side, Carlton. They've really just got to hold their nerve. Collingwood are surging.
Look at that for a pickup.
Yep. He's lifted.
Every reason to be connected too when you do that.
He's the informed tattoo player of the competition at the moment.
Hang on.
And there's a few of them.
Dane Swine. Dane, you know what I mean. Sock it off the ground. And the ball will be balled up on the outer side, I fancy. That the base of all of that is white. Mixing the breeds. Reaching over the top. It was Jolly who got it down. Pendlebury, side bottom. Tuvey, long down towards full forward, going back with courage there. Bauer couldn't complete the mark. Henderson, bit quick for him at the moment. Russell heads for the boundary line. Scotland up on his toes.
Got a hit.
Nicely done. Henderson doesn't really want the footy. Bauer sold into trouble. Murphy, Judd, he wants the footy. Twisting, turning. Henderson in space this time. Not a good kick. Intended for Scotland. It bounces out of bounds.
The first mistake Lachie Henderson made there was when he got the ball in his hands, he went back into the traffic. They had the open side. All the Carlton players knew that they were pushing down the members' side of the ground and decided to go back into the traffic lines and got his team back in stride.
Tough ask, though, to be playing your first game in defence against such a formidable opponent with 85,000 people here as well.
Cruiser to Simpson, drives it up towards the wing, waiting for it. Lead off the bench and clattering in was O'Halpin. Spills across to O'Brien. Satana slow to get up. Harry drives it down towards full forward meantime. Big leap Medhurst in from the side. Russell Didak a half chance. Judd kept his head, swings it back outside the 50. Mark is taken by Johnson. Johnson looks to the opposite side of the ground. Wonderful vision. Tuvey waiting behind Swan. Tuvey another chance to make amends. Fires a hand pass out to side bottom. Turns around side bottom and kicks the goal. Collingwood terrific.
They have been terrific too. They've been pushed. They've been attacked, and they've been able to hold their nerve. That should have been a free kick there to O'Halpin, but when the ball's going inside, you see this one with Johnson. He sees the open space, and Tuvey and Swan probably didn't talk. But numbers again to the contest. When the ball hits the ground, Collingwood get numbers over there to support and get it out to each other. Good finish.
So a career high for that young man. 2 goals this afternoon for the first time. Swan. Well, the Danes, I'll give you that. The Danes have got the market cornered in terms of the best tattooed player in the competition. Here's Pendlebury. Well, got the collective noun wrong, though, I think, as it goes down towards half forward. Judd once more after the spill from Beams. Fires the hand pass across towards Simpson. Simpson goes to half forward. Garlett, still Garlett. Over the football, Pendlebury turns into Garlett. Stolen off his boot by Houlihan. Judd, a tired Judd. Hand passes out wide. Simpson away on his left boot. Doesn't pull it back far enough.
Might be a telling factor in the game. Carlton coming off a 6-day break, a really intense game against Geelong last Monday. Collingwood with that extra day. You never know how that plays out in really intense games like this one we're seeing today.
Little 1-2 between Shaw and Swan. Shaw then drives for distance to the outer side. Almost the mark that Dawes, two nimble Dawes. He's had a big afternoon, although blunted a little bit in this term. Johnson across the Dawes. Fancies himself in this situation. Kicks it back towards the wing. Gibbs the only man there. Carlton on the move now. Gibbs runs down towards half forward. Searching kick. Deep into attack. Some indecision down there. It was missed by Swan. Spills across towards Shaw. Shaw drives to the outer side. Oh, how about that?
The Big Mac truck.
Dawes, eyes only for the football. Took the mark. Russell goes back. Takes the mark and goes short to McLean.
He's been good,
Spots
Russell.
him now. He's been in terrific form, Russell, in recent weeks. Gibbs on the lead. Good mark too, Yaron. Strong hands. Yaron wants a Tanner to come, but there's nobody back in the square. Don't know about that. That was a mess. Why would you beckon him? And the only man running to the goal square was a Collingwood player.
Here it is here. Have a look at this. Eyes on it.
Yep.
He knew he was probably half a step late there.
Johnson punches the kick out. Tooby's away. In front of the Great Southern stand. Goes down towards half forward. Just over the head of Dawes. Bauer comes up. Right on the boundary line to White. Dawes has to work. Bauer's got the football. Gibbs now. Good work, Tom. There goes the kick inside the forward 50. Getting back is Johnson. How about this? Compare this to Friday, ladies and gentlemen. The ball going from end to end. Swan gives it across to Pendlebury. Pendlebury towards half forward. Cloak's got it now. Surging back is Beams. Beams wants it short. Ball goes in that direction. Beautiful kick. Good hard running. Dane Beams up in a trice. Short one. Awkward one for side bottom. Bounces off his body. Pendlebury's got it. Hand passes across to Harry O'Brien. O'Brien will bring the roof down, and there isn't one. Harry O'Brien kicks the goal.
That's their 10th individual goal kicker, Tom, and they've got Siren's just gone as well. That is a wonderful finish for Collingwood. The last 5 minutes there, they just got hold of the game. A little bit of push and shove too in the middle.
Bit of feeling here.
Yeah, all the little spot fires out.
What a remarkable game.
Stay back, Mick.
Just terrific. What an advertisement for Aussie rules the last 15 minutes there were. Collingwood 17-8, 110. Carlton 13-5, 83. This is Sunday football. That's right. Got 8 of 10 there, 6 straight at one stage when they were really running hot. It's about whether they can push on from here, though, physically. It's all about want to. Final term of the MCG. Fraser does well, gets his own ball, kicks inside the forward 50, fisted away by Jamieson. Hitting the ball hard was Thomas. Both players didn't know where it had gone. Thomas knows where that has gone. Out of bounds. I
reckon Brett Ratton would have said to Jacobs, make sure you win the first contest, and to see Josh Fraser clear the ball so easily, I reckon he wouldn't have been too happy with that. This is a statement very early on in the quarter.
So where's Cruiser? He started on the bench, did he? Is he out there?
No, he's out there. He's gone forward.
That's okay. That's okay. I was going to say, strange not to have him on the ground.
Well, he hasn't had a kick today yet, Dennis. He's only had the 8 handballs, so far from his best.
Get him off the ground. Henderson in trouble. That's holding the ball. The tempo has found him out this afternoon. Hand pass comes across from Maxwell. Dawes almost too much time. He's hit the post.
He's looked a bit vulnerable at times, Henderson. I think he was struggling up forward, swing down back. Good size to play on Dawes, but you know, he's made some fundamental mistakes in the back 50.
Speaking of which, gee, I like Sidebottom as a player too.
Matty Cruiser.
No kicks.
No kicks as yet. Only needs to kick 4 or 5 in the last quarter.
That would be handy.
Be lovely.
Judd. Gibbs, provided you barrack for Carlton. Judd again, by example. One bounce through the MCG circle, still going. Oh, good run too, staying with him every step of the way was Bauer. He runs to the 50. He's gone a long way, Bauer. Takes something off this Satanta. Dropped the much. He's got wonderful balance, though. Still going, Satanta. Slaps it back towards Cruiser. A hand pass. Fumble from Houlihan. Standing his ground was the Collingwood skipper. It comes across to Brown. It was well played out there by Tuvey. The ball goes towards the other side. Cloak battles back with Jamison. Cloak to his own advantage. Keeps it alive. At close quarters, hammers it to Sidebottom. And Sidebottom runs it across the boundary.
I thought Bauer could have had a shot there. He was running. Yeah. He was only 50 metres out. He was on his non-preferred, but still put it up there. Get it into the dangerous spot, which is 15 metres out from goal.
He might have been breathless in Seattle. It's thrown in. Reaching over the top, knocked down by Jacobs. Look at this. That's terrific.
What about Chris Judd? He's had 15 contested possessions today.
Not bad out of his 31. No easy one, and he's also got a bloke hanging off him every time he goes near it.
Just remarkable willpower. The champions have got that, of course. Wellingham could be a champion one day as well. Gets a hand pass off. Beautifully done. McCaffer along the boundary. There goes the kick from Davis. There goes the kick from Davis across the face, out of bounds on the full. Now, I'm not sure that Medhurst is pleased with that.
I don't think anyone would be pleased except for Leon. I reckon Bucks will give him a cook after the match, and Mick will be saying that ain't Collingwood.
Good line for Bucks. Ego is not your amigo. Bauer comes away. Running up the middle of the ground. Gibbs inside the centre square. As a result of Davis taking that shot, here's a chance for Carlton at the other end. Cruiser keeps it in front.
Murphy.
O'Halpin spots Murphy. Oh, the kick is a bit long. Murphy stayed on his feet, though, over the top. Betts, still Betts, still Betts. 3 for him.
Great goal by Eddie Betts. The little fella got the goal that they needed at the start of this last quarter. They're going to be the guys that can win it for them. Those 3 amigos in the forward line.
Just a really good play here by Murphy, not to lose his footing. Yeah. Didn't get the bounce that Betts would have liked, but well, too easy to grab it.
Interesting, Eddie Betts didn't have a kick in the first half, and he's finishing with 3 goals. A fantastic contribution.
Talking about the 3 amigos, I think there was a 4th amigo at the other end. He helped as much as anybody. Leon, what was he thinking in the pocket?
Yeah, it's very hard to kick a banana from 50 metres out. Because it swings back the other way and ends up becoming a straight kick.
You're going a bit quick for me. Willingham trying to back out. Claimed by Carranza. So the margin is back now to 22 points.
What about the duel between O'Brien and Betts, Tom?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, Eddie Betts didn't have the greatest of first half. He's got 3 second half goals. Oh, here we go. We'll get back to that one, Ox.
Judd storming down towards half forward, pushed as he kicked. Reed, well, he bet against himself there. He dived at the football, didn't take the mark. Now he's got a problem. O'Brien, head down, tackled by Satanta. Down he goes, and the umpire will ball it up.
Just backly on the O'Brien. O'Brien Betts. It's been a really tight battle. Betts is getting the goals on the score now, and Collingwood really lacking in O'Brien's defensive run and defensive drive.
Thomas tracks it towards the boundary line. Good spot for it as far as Collingwood are concerned. Deep to the boundary and then out of bounds.
He's had a very good start of the season as well, Dale Thomas. I think he's improved. He came into this season under a lot of speculation, and he's lived up to that high draft pick that he went some years ago.
Fraser knocks it down. Almost a push in the back. The ball picked up by Simpson. Throws it on the boot. Working in front. White. That was a good contest by White. just muddied the waters and the ball has bounced out of bounds.
A few players out of that draft, in fact. Murphy went number 1. He went number 2. Pendlebury went 5. On display. All very, very good players.
Boundary throw in. Can Carlton get a goal here? Hooked to the back of the pack by Cruiser. Houlihan. Carazzo. Carazzo still going. Now Houlihan gets a hand pass away. Scotland like him to nail this. He's normally a beautiful kick. Scotland. Just misses.
Just need, you get the feeling they just need to get close enough.
They kick the next one, Tom.
In front. Yep.
Do you reckon they're a chance?
Yeah, I'll give them a chance for sure. If the game opens up and they've just got to get speed onto the game. Speed in space. It's crucial to Carlton's success.
Here's Thomas. Plays on out of the back pocket. Jacobs holding on. Fraser gets the free kick.
That'll be a lesson for the young man. He's got to get front position. He's big enough to be able to hold a player out like Fraser.
Fraser by hand. Thomas hard running, pushing up from the back pocket. That hard running affected the kick. Judd, spectacular leap. Lucas goes after the football. Not much more Judd can do, I'd suggest. Taken by Henderson. It was Yaron who got it to him. Gibbs goes across the ground. Armfield gave it to Bauer. Now it wasn't a tackle. Davis let him off the hook. Armfield. Yaron. Well, he just dropped the football. Down goes Carazzo. Through comes Didak. A little 1-2 with Wellingham. Long kick. Cloak is back. Getting back is Joseph. And Cloak read it to a nicety.
Great tackling. That's what win your matches. 3 tackles. The first one of Davis didn't get the ball back, but there was a second one. The third one is Juddy flying high. You know a player's in good form.
About his shoulders there.
Yeah, you know a player's in good form when they're jumping at the footy like that. But great tackle by Didak, and as a result, shooting for goal.
I remember the word on Judd. He was a great mark as a kid, but of course the shoulders put paid to that. Here's Cloak then. This will really hurt the Blues. Goal umpire goes a distance, but it's good.
His first goal of the afternoon for Cloak. He's had a little bit of impact though. He's been involved in a lot of marking contests. He's been okay. He's had his 15 possessions. When he's kicking goals though, that's when he becomes very important. But as a centre half forward, Tom, he's never been a prolific goal kicker. He's always in there doing the hard work without slotting all that many through. And
sometimes you've got to play a role. It's been Dawes who's been the dominant player for Collingwood up forward today.
At least 1 goal in every game this season, of course, 4 on Anzac Day. A well-earned break.
No Juddy in the centre, so they've got to nullify Collingwood's ability to get the ball out.
Just watch the clock here, because he'll be back in about 4 minutes. If they can just keep it at this margin, there's some sort of hope. It sounds like basketball, but his dominance in this game and influence has been pronounced. Simpson gets it from Armfield. Across it comes to Jamison. That was nice work, Jamison. Kicks towards half forward. Beautiful kick too. And White has shown something as a leading forward.
Could he go inside here?
Yep, Gibbs has got it. Can they erode the margin with their champion off the ground? Maybe. That's got to be a free kick. As he paid the mark end or free, he had the ball reaching around. Brown grabbed his arm and then the ball came loose.
He paid the free kick, but I think that's a mark.
Well, he does mark it, but then the arm.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is for the Irish record, Dennis.
The Irish record, well.
Well, I've only found 4. I know that Jimmy kicked 4. I know that Ty's kicked 4. And he's already got 5, so he might be just smashing the record.
Are you saying he's the record holder already?
Well, I think he just may be.
Oh, well. They'll be toasting with Guinness anyway. And he comes. Kick. Offline to the opposite pocket. Flying behind. No chance there for the big guy, Jacobs.
And Dennis, I think you're onto something looking at the clock, and that shot on goal from O'Halpin. Both Murphy and Judd have come back onto the ground.
Okay. That is just the quickest of breathers. More psychological, I reckon, than physical, that. Just so the boys think they've had a break. No such luck. Here he is again. Betts back towards Judd. Pushed off it brilliantly by Pendlebury. That's what you do against quality opposition. You keep your head and you win. Dawes, awkward bounce. Henderson wasn't watching the footy. Lucas in trouble. Just got the arm free. Crashing the pack. Pendlebury. Wonderful running. He kept coming. Hand passes out wide. Going at the football out there. Russell. Stolen away by Didak. Swan hand passes forward. Johnson back to the corridor. Beams. Is he the best tattooed player in the league? I think he might be. Take that off.
Absolutely huge contest in the middle of the ground there. It was Murphy and Pendlebury. Pendlebury won the hard ball, got the ball forward. We've spoken that Collingwood have probably got an ascendancy in contested ball in a tight situation. That was on display there. Don't want to be critical, but not good enough for Mark Murphy on that passage of play. And Dane Beams, fantastic finish. He's really turned into that sort of half-forward play. He had 13 inside 50s last week against the Bombers. Finishes the goal very well.
It's amazing when Collingwood are playing good footy, they pride themselves on their tackling, and their two last goals, two wonderful tackles that have resulted.
Terrific stuff. Beams the goal from 15 possessions this afternoon. He's been outstanding. Judd drives Carlton down towards half forward. Coming up, Betts, the Blues, not done with yet. Back to Murphy. Spots the open goal. I think it's okay. It is. Quick reply. Murphy's got 3.
That's what Collingwood can do.
Yep.
They can let the ball come out of the midfield, and all of a sudden Carlton get a sniff, and they're back on the scoreboard very quickly. And for Collingwood's all their great work, for only a couple of small players or small times players are playing behind, Carlton get a chance. And I reckon they'll be upset with that, because they've worked so hard to get it down there and score 2 goals in a row, and they give it up.
Three goals to Mark Murphy from the midfield, but the other end of the ground, Collingwood, you could argue that 13 of their 19 goals has come from their 6 or 7 midfield rotations. That's extraordinary and makes it very hard to beat them.
Rucks go at it once more. Murphy after the football. Thomas been good this afternoon. Johnson at close quarters. Tooby did well. Pendlebury, look away, hand pass, fumbled by Johnson. Cruiser got an arm in there enough to muck things up, but eventually it comes across to Thomas. Thomas kicks inside the forward 50. Cloak, third man in line, not required. Dawes has taken the mark.
So strong. Yeah. Really impressed with this. With Dawes' game today. Henderson, he's not even trying to go for the footy on that occasion, because Dawes too strong.
Dawes and O'Halfin have been fantastic young key forwards.
3 metres.
Well, we've discussed his kicking all day today. His first effort at goal was his best. This might be his biggest. He's got it. 3.
Just the ability to take a contested mark in the forward 50. That's Dawes' 4th contested mark. In big games like that, when if you can surge the ball forward like Collingwood do here, you're always half a chance when you've got a marking target. We spoke about Travis Cloak playing almost the second fiddle foil type role, and I mean, Lockie Henderson hasn't played a lot of footy as a key defender, and he looks a bit that way at the moment. They've found one here, the Pies.
Dawes with 3 goals. 129 points as it is now equals Collingwood's highest score of the season back in round 1.
What about Pendlebury's last quarter? He's had 7 possessions, a lot of them handballs, but gee,
5 of them contested off.
Yeah, just bringing his teammates into the game.
Cruiser flicks it down, intended for Judd. Ball grabs it. Kicks towards half forward. Finally, has the spirit been broken for the Blues? Side bottom. Well, he's going to add some more perhaps. He goes down towards the pocket. Didak just nudges his opponent Armfield out of the way. Watch that left foot, Armfield. Well, Didak comes outside the 50. It was the left boot, but Armfield did his job. Fraser kicks down towards full forward. One of those ugly kicks. Trying to knock it out of there was Russell. Goes behind. Russell had another chance at it then. Picked up by Jamison, who scrambles it out of bounds. You would think 33 points is beyond them. Although back in the second quarter late, they went on a goal spree and got them very quickly, Carlton. But Collingwood have met every challenge this afternoon. So well coached, so well implemented. Judd gave it across to Murphy, to McLean. Advantage is paid. Murphy back into the action to Yaron.
Structure here.
Yaron gives it to Gibbs. Gibbs goes across to Carrazzo. Nobody back inside the 50. Scotland is running back. McCaffer is going with him. Scotland to McCaffer. Well done, McCaffer. He won the juggling contest. Side bottom. Just lobs the ball to Ball. Thomas is on for the short one. He'll get it now. Carlton exposed at the back. The killer blow could be coming. Thomas hard against the boundary line. From behind Davis. Well, not sure about that. Still, it's out of bounds. This is not a bad result.
Great contest here by McCaffer to win one-on-one. He was in front too, and it's always dangerous getting pushed under the footy, but he held his ground. Good win.
Fraser in front, outmanoeuvred though by Cruiser. Gibbs, Simpson, Didak got him. Johnson, tackled by Russell, hard against the boundary line. Gibbs back towards the wing. O'Brien reaches over the top, finds the footy on the ground anyway. Hand passes to Tuvey. They're just too good for Carlton. He kicks inside the 50. Wonderful mark, Russell.
I really like this player. He has got so much courage. He was maligned for a long time about his disposal, but he's worked really hard on eliminating those problems. But that's just courage.
Not only is that courage, that is textbook. He's actually turned his body in the air. He hasn't opened up his ribs and split himself open. That was a textbook defensive mark.
There's White. Hard against the line, White. Here he is again, Russell. Seems to be okay now. Scrambles a kick out, but you get the impression it's coming back through the legs of Brown, though. Over the football arm field. Was got a hand pass, then decided to kick. Wanders up towards the wing. Growing in stature, McCaffer. Ball's had a good game. Kicked 3 goals. Davis. Deep in the pocket, Davis. Armfield's got him. Ball jarred out of there. Hasn't been a stellar afternoon for Leon. Just 8 possessions.
It's really important that Carlton hang tough in this last 10 minutes. I reckon they've earned themselves a lot of respect and a lot of support for the way they've handled the big stage. But if they get blown out here, going into an important game against St Kilda, you can undo a lot of the good work which they've put on for us today.
Judd down towards left half forward. 36 possessions now for Chris Judd. His best at Carlton. There goes the kick inside the forward 50 from O'Halpin. Close to the boundary line. Garlett over the shoulder. Shaw, he kept it in. Not sure about the wisdom of that. Yes, I am. Got it from O'Brien. McCaffer's got it. Comes away from right half back. Beautiful kick coming out.
Hang on, 50-metre penalty downfield. Dennis.
Well, we'll finish up about where Daisy Thomas has got the footy. Just going back to Chris Judd, his best ever in the AFL for the West Coast Eagles. 39 against Brisbane. Round 5:06. You might remember that game.
He's been outstanding this afternoon.
Yep. Ball. It was interesting coming into the season. Chris Judd, and I said so in a newspaper interview during the week, almost unsexy. People talking about the best players in the competition. How quickly we forget.
He reminded us though in his comeback game against the Adelaide Crows just how good he is.
That pressure point did him no favours as the ball goes inside the 50, and Jolly, that was some leap. He got a bit of a ride, but gee, he was up high. Armfield comes away off the ball. Advantage is paid now against Davis, who was coming off the ground. He was coming off and he collected, I think it was White, high. Meantime, Carlton come down towards half forward. Mark is taken by Lucas, who played on a little prematurely. Tuvey. Well, Tuvey not fashionable, but very good. Sort of player Michael Malthouse loves. Johnson gets it from Maxwell. Again inside the forward 50. Medhurst. And the flame is just burning ever so brightly now for Collingwood.
Just been better by foot. Have a look at this leap by Darren Jolly. We've seen him take some big grabs too in the past. And this is just a beautiful kick by Johnson. Medhurst pushing off his opponent, Russell. Medhurst is very clever and very strong. In an open 50 like that, he's always going to get it.
Paul Medhurst going at his 3rd. Steps to the 50. And he's missed. Just the 1 goal last week for Paul Medhurst, but he's still on record. We were talking about Irishmen before and long-standing records. I think his Anzac Day speech when he won the Anzac medal will stand for a long time. A highlight. Gibbs goes short. And Joseph's away. Outside the defensive 50, waiting for the ball to come. Jacobs held without the football. Scotland comes across to McLean.
You mentioned Tuvey before. Dennis is an unfashionable Mick Malthouse type of player. He's now strung up to about 25, 26 games in a row. He came off the rookie list. It's almost stereotypical Collingwood defender.
Yep. No frills at all. Judd hand passes towards the wing. So he's approaching his best ever performance in terms of raw stats. Chris Judd. There goes Simpson taking the mark.
He's doing the homework last night, Dennis. Just looking looking at Leon Davis. He's never kicked 5 goals in a match, which I found fascinating. You would have thought that a player of his ilk could have been able to boot 5.
I would have thought so. Didak. Sidebottom's kick is pretty wayward, and he puts it out of bounds on the full.
He's got 4 goals 9 times, so can't get over that Irish barrier of 4.
Yeah, well, he's certainly no Irishman.
I'm confident of that.
There's White driving it towards the outer side, and the mark is taken by Clark. Gee, they've been impressive today, Collingwood. Every time Carlton came, they just put down the resistance. Long ball towards full forward at the back of the pack. Can he start work on his 5 here? Paddles it around the boundary, Davis. Still going, Davis. It was good hands. Johnson, Pendlebury, or rather Wellingham.
That's clever.
Jolly.
Sherrod Wellingham's ability, a younger player, or not a younger player, less crafty player, would have had a snap from there, long range point, but he's actually pulled the kick at the last minute. You'll see it here perfectly. Gets the handball off Johnson, thinks about going, looks inside, executes the skill perfectly. That is fantastic play.
He's a very good set shot for goal, Darren Jolly. With a sound technique, probably one of the better ruckmen who can kick in the competition. Watch this, Dennis.
You keep your reputation sort of out there, don't you? There goes the kick. Jolly puts it through. Very good judge, David Schwartz.
Hasn't been getting the big numbers that he can acquire. He's only coming in for his 7th possession, but he hasn't had a huge influence over the Collingwood side since he's actually moved into the centre for the Collingwood Footy Club. But he'll warm up. He'll get better as it goes along.
He's their 13th goal kicker for the day, Ox. It's a fantastic contribution and spread, as we know that they can do.
So Darren Jolly gets the margin out to 40 points. Big night on Friday night football. The Field of Women, an initiative, Melbourne, and the AFL. And if you want to be part of it, you can see that web address. In goes Murphy, robbed of it by Swan. Relentless runner is Swan. Goes wide, Didak wheels around in characteristic fashion. Kicks inside the forward 50. Beam surprised it carried the pack. Johnson to Beam. So dangerous in this situation. Over the top down there was Davis. Wellingham arrives in the nick of time. Grabs the footy and snaps.
Sherrod Wellingham, I should say, is becoming a very, very good player for Collingwood. He's improved out of sight. He's good at the ground ball. He's good in the air. He's very good in a contested situation, but he's clean, he's sharp, and he brings other players into the game. We gave Jolly the last one before, and they've kicked the last 3, and all of a sudden the margin becomes a little bit worrying for the Carlton Footy Club. They were very competitive, and now it's out to 46 points.
Now, Dennis, this is one for you. This
Yes.
is a fantastic stat. This is the first time in AFL history that in the home and away season a club has played in front of 80,000 back-to-back games. Collingwood obviously last week, Anzac Day, and again today.
You're up there with Ox, Tom. These Sundays bring out the best in everybody. Bauer gets through. That's a magnificent attendance, isn't it? This kick goes inside the forward 50. O'Brien arrives quickly, spins out of trouble. Gave it across to Swan. Sidebottom's got it now. Didak. Just drifting back, Pendlebury. Wellingham outside. Pendlebury decides not to give it. And why should they? They've strangled the life out of Carlton. Awkward one for Didac. Well done by Gibbs, reaching over the top. Simpson has a birthday during the week. Up goes Betts, missed it. Out of mid-air by Swan to half forward. McLean backed himself against the footy. Dawes coming down almost was Jamison, who leapt up behind him. Found himself with a football, gave it to Cruiser, goes out wide to Simpson. Simpson draws a man, slips a hand pass away to Gibbs. Gibbs thought about coming to the middle to Cruiser. First kick of the afternoon. He sends it inside the forward 50. O'Halpin has a few to beat, and those three actually beat themselves. Garlett snaps. How's that? That would be the best goal of the afternoon. Stands for nothing, but it was beautiful.
Very quiet afternoon for Garlett. Only the 4 possessions, but as you said, Dennis, this looks easier than actually what it is, because he's on his. Have a look at this. 1, 2. That's pure.
The game's in good state. We saw Wellingham just down before. We've got Yaron and Betts and Gartlett. Terrific small coming forwards that can execute those sort of skills.
That was a great snap. The margin stands at 40. Cruiser beaten by Jolly. Swan, 30 possessions now for Swan. He just racks them up week in, week out. Thomas, Pendlebury.
So does this bloke.
Yeah, he's up to 29. Inside the forward 50. Davis, oh, he was out of bounds.
We've been marvelling at Collingwood's defensive pressure all day. In their last 3 games, they knocked off the Hawks by 64 points, Essendon by 65 points. They're up by 40 points now. Their offense has been absolutely outstanding. They are really motoring at the moment. It seems like it's stating the obvious, but they are in red-hot form.
Juddy best on. Pendlebury. Very, very good game there by O'Halpin as also.
So Judd's off the ground. I doubt we'll see him again, which leaves him 2 short of his personal best in the AFL. McCaffrey gets it from Didac. Centering kick. And gee, this guy is a very good second banana to a group of about 5 that are ahead of him. But he fits in beautifully. Well, he's a 6th banana. I know what you're laughing at, but you know what I mean.
He didn't play the first couple of rounds. First round. A lot of Collingwood supporters couldn't understand why he wasn't in the side.
Discipline, I think it was.
Was it discipline?
Yep.
It was.
Which probably shows the strength of the club.
Well, there we go. That's why he wasn't in the team.
Might have been at the tattooists. Then he comes and kicks from 50 and just misses.
But he knows how to find the footy as well.
On that, Dennis, Freddie Lundberg, a great player from Arsenal, once missed a game with tattoo poisoning. He went and got some work done during the week and missed the following game.
Well, I saw a guy on the telly the other night actually talking about how long it took to get his full body armour on, and it was about a day and a half. Hey, that's quite amazing. And the pain involved in that, I would imagine, is quite a bit.
You got any, Den?
Tats, yes, I've got several. None visible. There goes the kick down towards half forward. I don't want you thinking I'm a wimp. Murphy has it. Cuts back towards the middle. Still going, Murphy. Pushed off the kick. Scotland, no. Over his head. Johnson. Swan. Short to Medhurst. Dying seconds of the game. There should be a delete key on those tattoo machines, though, I reckon. Just in case. Second thoughts are cooling. There's no cooling off period for tattoos, is there?
No, there's not.
No.
Oh, I dare say there's a few mistakes out there too, Den.
There's heaps, actually. There was a story in Sports Illustrated just recently, particularly with ex-girlfriends or wives. There's a goal to Medhurst. No mistake with that kick.
Well, they're just really starting to put them away now. 47 points. And I think Carlton have played better than that. Collingwood have been very good, but they have played a lot better than 47 points. But Collingwood just, they break you down systematically. They make you make errors, and then they smash you on the turnover.
That turnover has become a huge stat for mine in the AFL. Scores from turnovers, Collingwood #1 clearly in the competition.
Well, we talked about Satanta and his little helpers before the game, and they've kicked 11 goals between them. Probably couldn't have asked for too much more than that. I guess it's just Collingwood have got a spread all across the ground. So many multiple goal kickers, and basically they're just a little bit better team at the moment. But Satanta and the boys, they did do their job down there today.
Yeah, the signs are good for Carlton, but just a couple of key positions lacking at the moment. And bear in mind, no Waite and no Thornton today, so maybe those key position players do exist within the club.
Talking of tattoos too, Dennis, a lot of Melbourne Storm fans have a couple that probably don't read correctly at the moment.
Oh, yeah, how do you go with that? Simpson over the football and the ball up.
One player I think they've really missed today is Andrew Walker. Not only can he do a job in defence, but provides so much run. He's become a really crucial part of that Carlton backline.
So what do you do there, Ox, as the ball goes down towards half forward? If you've got those premierships tattooed on the arm, is that an amputation? Is to come off?
I don't know what you do.
There's side bottom.
Because it's not like a girlfriend where you just rub it out and put a new one.
Start again. Here's Tooby. We'll go looking for a girl with the same name. Dawes. O'Brien. Forward of the wing. On the lead cloak.
He can kick this.
Yep. This would be the icing on the cake if he gets this. We're down to 30 seconds. He unloads. He's kicked it to Richmond. It landed in Swan Street. Good call, Ox.
What to make of the Blues today, Ox?
Good, spasmodic, disappointing.
53 points.
Not sure. They're a good side, but they just can't sustain it.
Maybe the question is how good the Pies are.
Yeah, I think it says more about Collingwood and their pressure and their ability to just strangle you and then punish you at the other end. But to have 155 points kicked against you, you've got problems.
Well, if we said at the outset the two form teams in the competition right now, then Collingwood are the best team in it.
Yep.
I know Bruce feels the same way. We were chatting off air. And Collingwood seem to have all the bits this year. And there's the two newest bits combining out of the centre. Jolly down to ball. Dawes, in addition, didn't take the mark. Jamison hand pass forward. Dying seconds of the game. McLean over the football. Medhurst still with a desire. That's a fend off against Medhurst, but wait for the siren. Collingwood supreme today. Rack up their 5th victory. Well done, Michael Malthouse and the Magpies. Final scoreline, Collingwood 24-11, Carlton 16-6 on Sunday Football. Looking dejected, not so these Collingwood players, although not a lot of celebration. It's been a tough afternoon. Collingwood win 24-11, Carlton 16-6 at the MCG. Let's go down to